What's going on, guys? My name is Citizen, and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. So we are in what I am going to be deeming Season 1.25 tier list. Yes, so the first tier list included the newest release to Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and the meta landscape changed, arguably for either the better or worse, depending on the playstyle that you play. But now with the release of the second character of the three, the technical character Gotenks, that is who is going to be added in today's tier list of tier list 1.25, with Topo rearing right around the corner. But I am not alone. I am joined by two of the top players in the world. I will throw it over to them to allow them to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm the number 1/number 2 ranked tech overall, number 1 tech NA for the most part. I basically just only play tech. I'm a one trick. Just kidding. I play pretty much all the techs, but I don't play a lot of the other roles. But I have a good idea of where all these characters land, I think.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Aragaki, and from what Citizen said, top of the world, I am not. I'm nowhere near close to the top of the world, but I am around top 200 for DPS-wise. I'm currently at 115. I've gotten to S rank as well on tech. I currently have not touched that much for tank, but I do know where almost all the characters' kits and what they do in the first place, and there you go.
Alrighty, so then really quick before we get going and start with our first character, which will actually be the newest character, I do want to point out, as you can see, the tier list kind of got a brand new sectional, which is the unreleased / not applicable tier, which is where Topo is going to go, but of course that will be undone come his release. We do still have our remainder tier list. I did tweak the wording a little bit just so it's more accurate. I know we had to adjust it mid video last time, so this should be good to go, so that way everything is clear. So we have the Yamcha tier. This is going to be for those characters that just flat out just need a rework, just because, again, they're just not viable. We know certain characters go there, and or just needing major buffs, right? So one could argue that Boo could have gone there, but now he got a buff, so not going to be in that category. Then we have our Earthling tier. This is for characters that are kind of like in the middle. They're not anything too crazy. You pick them, you can still do things, or you could throw. It just depends on the player at that point. Z-Warrior, fine in any situation, regardless of skill level, you will be okay as long as you are just doing what is well within your role, whether it's tank, DPS, or tech. Then, of course, we have our God of Destruction tier. These are for those characters that are very close to being broken. Any tweak in the positive direction, and they're just going to end up in our next tier, which is the Zeno tier. These are characters that need, if in an ideal world, emergency nerfs, or if you see them on the other team, it is just a GG's go next if you don't have those characters on your team, especially during those pesky Cell Junior. So, without further ado, guys, let's get started with our first character, Technical Gotenks. How are we feeling about him?
I'll take the lead on this one. I feel like this is probably more in my wheelhouse.
You will most certainly, Jordan, you will most certainly take the lead on every single tech, and that'll be me.
Go for it.
So I've been playing a lot of Gotenks lately. I've been playing him in scrims, I've been playing him in ranked, and he, to me, feels very strong. He does have some weaknesses. He's not overwhelming. I think his laning phase can be a little weak. His farm secure is not very stable. It's not something you can really press advantage with. He needs a character that can help push the aggression in lane, or he's just gonna have to play safe and just play for farm. But once you hit the 3-4 minute mark, you're able to transform. You are able to max I like to max donuts on Gotenks first, just because I think his team fight's really strong. And getting to the second boss fight at 4 minutes and having the max rank donut, and then you donut into a cooler ult, you donut into some sort of AoE burst ability or another ult, or even you just donut into your own ult or ult into your own donut as Gotenks. You could straight up win a team fight, sometimes team wipe off of that. You get the boss, you get a tower, you get maybe 2 towers off of it, depending on what the map pressure is looking like. Really good character, really strong. I think there's a lot of different builds you can run with him. I think he's very flexible. I would put him probably in God of Destruction tier, personally.
Okay.
I don't think he's broken, but I think he's very, very strong.
Fair enough. Ari, take it away.
I do agree. I do agree with almost basically everything that Jordan says, because I was going to put him exactly where he is as well, where it was close but not broken, because even playing with him for a little bit, even myself, I could see like his beginning game is not the greatest, especially for how his cooldowns are in the first place. His one being around almost like a 15-second timer means you really have to keep that for very specific like fight situations, mainly to when one of like let's say the top laners vanish. That's his cue to really like go on that person to deal that damage. And especially like what you said, especially during let's say divine card areas where like you like superstar, right? Definitely with the donut right off the start, just like what you were saying. I would also do that as well, where you just focus on maxing out the donut, just because, like you said, it's just good in so many situations. Because so many people expect that you're going to be leveling either your ghosts, your one to do more damage, or any of this other stuff. Mainly just the two just gives so much potential just to catch people off that you can also just pop barriers as well with your teammates in all those team fights and everything like that, and can even secure when people are trying to run away as well. Just the donut being that huge is just really, really good for his character. And then including that, since you're leveling, you're maxing your donut a lot more, the lower level your one is, the faster the stun it comes out. But yeah, I don't think he's broken, but he's really, really strong. Exactly like you said. I agree 100%.
Yeah, there's like not much that I else I can say, but what I will say is what I like about his release, I'm gonna probably say this for like is like how it impacts like the meta when they're paired together. I think Gotenks is his kit, and then again, just for Jordan's like and what Ari was saying about like his team fight potential. Just his kit alone, like there's a reason why, like when you look at hexagon chart, it like is all the way max at support, because again, I have seen so many more Trunkses and like close range fighters because of Gotenks, and they're doing extremely well just because like he'll attach a ghost to them, or like, you know, Gotenks will do his donut or the stun potential. Now we have another stun character because, you know, go on. And that stun, the ghost doing the damage and the movement speed slow, like sets them up to literally just get almost what feels like being one shot by these characters. And it's just, I think he was a healthy release because it brought a lot of stock value to a lot of characters that I think were, I don't want to say the word power crept by J3, but like they were definitely shut down by J3, because again, with J3 you could not get close because he has so many things in his kit to either keep the distance and or just get out of jail free cards, that Gotenks being able to stop that and support and make J3 not look like that much of a threat in some cases. If you are a Trunks or an Android 18, I think that was very healthy for the game. But like, you know, Jordan was saying, there are some weaknesses in him. But if you have the fortunate benefit of getting this character as a new player, or when he eventually will be on trial, I highly recommend y'all give him a shot, because you will not be disappointed. The reason why a lot of players are having so much fun with Gotenks is that guy living up to his nickname of Grimmer.
Also, may I add one more thing on with his little ghost really quick too? Including that with his ghosts, it just gives you vision around the map as well. Because I think Jordan can agree with this. Just the fact that they can actually give you vision around the map, and including that, not only do they home, they can almost chase someone down literally halfway across the lane. They just don't stop, pretty much. Like, sometimes they have a limit, but including that, his ghosts are also really good for just popping in and throwing them out, just to try to pop barriers early.
100%. All right, MVP 17.
Ooh, so 17 was whenever I was really like grinding in the early games of launch. I thought 17 felt really strong, and I think he is a good character. I'm going to preface this right now. I think all the technical characters are at bare minimum good. It is the most well-designed role in the game. All of the characters are functional, especially since they buffed Boo. Boo was the only one before where I was like, maybe not. Frieza too, but Frieza got buffed like 4 patches in a row since network tests, so he's perfectly fine. But we'll get to that later. 17 is a good character. If they were to buff him, he might be too strong. But I think right now he does feel a little weak, but I think that's also mostly due to the fact that a lot of other technical characters are just easier to get value out of than him. He has things like his lane secure is very good. He can still farm very effectively. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the same amount of CC or setup that a character like Gotenks has. His ult is a reactionary defensive tool. You can't really use it preemptively or offensively. It's only to kind of give your teammates shields or to do some amount of damage, but you want to use it at a lower HP so you get higher effects. So you have to manage your HP bar on top of managing his passive, and like there's a lot of moving parts that are going on. But you could just play a character that you could just press buttons and get value out of, and not have to think about. So he kind of loses out in that regard, especially as if you're like a solo queue player. Playing 17 is very hard because it's hard to get your team to group up in your shields.
Right.
But I still think he has good stuff. I would probably put him. Do I think there's a gap between Gotenks and 17?
That is the question.
That is the question. I think there is. I think 17 you probably would want a certain comp. You wouldn't just want him on any team. Whereas Gotenks, you could probably put him in most comps and it'd be okay. Yeah, I would put him in the middle, I think.
Middle, or like is it like Z-Warrior or like Earthling in the middle?
No, Earthling, the one that says in the middle.
Got you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
My bad.
No, you're good. Just want to clarify. All right, take it away.
I do agree with a lot what he said as well, because the problem with Android 17, just like what he said, you have to micromanage so many stuff. You also have to micromanage as well, not only your free use of an ability with his bar, it's the fact that you have to remember what each individual one of your abilities actually do when it's that free use, because they have their normal state to where, it's just the normal ability, and then they have these little kind of upgraded abilities when you use them again. Like with the barrier, it's like you use it once when you have the cooldown out, and it's just a normal barrier that gives you health, and you use it again and you get a movement speed increase. It's just like all these little things too. It's like he is very, very good in opinion based. Like his defense is pretty good. It's just like what Jordan said, he has little problems to where he's like one of those characters that you have to like he said, like you have to really have to play a team that's actually around him, and he is one of those characters that really has to communicate with a team in order to have full value with him, because they just have to be able to play around him. Because if you're just running in on your own, you're kind of just not really going to do much in all honesty, other than maybe throw your one, and that's really it. Because then you're going to have to try to spam your abilities to kind of just to survive. And if your teammates aren't near you, you kind of just fall over and die at that point.
Yeah, I think that to me, I've noticed, because I've had the privilege of getting told like how to play 17. Like he's fun, don't get me wrong. And like I think Jordan said it best. Like technical by far is the most balanced role across the board, especially with Boo getting some love recently.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think with 17, I think y'all hit the nail on the head there. That where I think his biggest struggle is he is very team comp dependent. If you are with teammates that either don't support you or know how to play off of your util, you can suffer, and it'll make you feel like this is just like the worst experience ever, which is not the case, because again, like how Jordan said, like he's a very good character. I just think that there's so many things that need to go right for him to just function well. I think that where he excels in, like Jordan was saying, farm stealing, farm secure. If it's a Cell, oh my god, if it's a Cell Junior, like dude, he can, for sure, 100% stealing.
You can easily get first hit too.
Like, it's the same thing, like like with J3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys ever play against SSJ3 Android 17 Super Start Skill 1 top lane?
Bro, it is just and then
you walk into lane, everything just dies immediately. You're like, wow, that was fun.
It's just like, why am I even playing? But like, if it's not
another add-on, if I could say something really quick as well, it's the fact that what makes him so team-oriented too is the fact that his two. Jordan, really quick, which one is his leap? Skill 1, 2, or 3?
Skill 2 is the punch.
Yeah, okay, the skill 2 the punch. With the punch, if you use it again, what does it do? If I remember correctly, it staggers or gets rid of someone's vanish or something? It staggers them, right?
It slows on the normal use. On the passive use, it will stun them.
Yeah, okay. That's like a bigger thing too, is like if you gotta communicate with your team, like I stun this person, let's kill him. Like that's like the simplest part. Like again, and like, hey, just playing around me, playing around my ult, get health back, play around my barriers and stuff like this. Because the problem with this ultimate too is like the biggest thing in this game that characters get screwed over is ultimates that just make them stand still.
Yeah. Anyways, yes. So yeah, I mean that's 17 in a nutshell. So again, guys, I think that like we all are saying this. He's a great character. You just got to be very mindful. So if you are a 17, especially this is MVP 17 Stan, like you can pick him up. He is a lot of fun, but just know that again, you will be in for an uphill battle if you do not have the right team supporting you. Okay?
And another thing really quick as well, for like the simplest thing, I would say for Android 17, I would not recommend people who are getting into the game do not play Android 17 off the start if you are trying to get him.
Yeah, I would say
I highly advise one of the other technicals instead.
Yes, 100%. Speaking of, I think this is going to be so fun to talk about. Jordan's going to talk about this real quick, but I want to say, like, I still, again, Zoro, and to every other hit player that there is, I am so sorry for disrespecting your boy. I thought this character was complete dog water when I first started playing because nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew what to do. I'm like, this is a free kill. But then I hit S, and oh my god, my reality wake-up call, I did not know y'all had that in your game.
Okay, I'm just going to take over because you're being disrespectful.
Go for it.
So, okay, I'm gonna say first of all, I don't have hit unlocked because I did get him whatever I could have, and I'm not gonna get him until I have like level 8 million on the star, whatever. So 100%. I'm not a hit player. I reached my rank without playing hits. So yeah. I will say though, I play against a lot of hits because he's probably one of the most popular technical characters, especially once you get to higher ranks. He is, in my opinion, he is the best technical character. He is the character in the technical world that...
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I will agree with you really quick, Jordan. I agree on that.
He is the technical that you can solo carry the game with if you are good enough.
Yep.
And that is what makes him the best. He is hard to play against if you don't know what he does. He is hard to play against if you know what he does. He is hard to play against if you have practice playing against good hits, because they have so many options. He has perma stealth.
Yep.
Once he hits level 8.
Oh.
Yep.
Not only that, his ability that gives him stealth is a blink, a movement speed buff, and invisibility.
Yep.
And is omnidirectional. He can go any direction with it.
That is correct.
He can hit towers while he's invisible.
Yeah. Oh, that is so stupid.
He's got CC. He's got range damage. He has one of the best teamfight ults in the game, if not the best. Low-key, the hit strat is walk into a teamfight, drop your ult, have the enemy team lose their mind because they can't see anything, and then go split push a tower. That is legit, like, top 3 hit strat.
That is legitimately what I try to do as well with a hit. That is legitimately what I do because... Sorry, continue, Jordan.
No. It's cool. I'm not gonna get too far into it because I could rant about hit all day just because I've fought a lot of hits. And on my stream there's a me and my homies hate hit players, and I know a lot of the hit players like Zoro, Paro, like I love those guys. They're great. I have no issue with them. And it's just the character they play is annoying to play against. But I'm sure there's anything about my character, so like I get it. So I think he goes in the Zeno tier. I think that he is. I think he's a step above Gotenks, just because Gotenks has the obvious weakness of if you fight him pre-level 5, he can't really do a whole lot. Whereas if Hit is choosing to fight you pre-level 5, he's probably going to kill you. So the one thing is that Gotenks is good into Hit because the Ghost will follow him while he's invisible. If he uses his Vanish, if he tries to use his Invis skill to get away, you'll track him with the skill 1. So you do have a decent matchup into him, but he can still bully you in lane and put you behind. And the one thing Gotenks has a really hard time with is if he falls behind.
Yep.
Because he wants to be at least similar level to the rest of his team, so that he can get donuts online as fast as possible. Once you get donuts online, it doesn't really matter because you're pretty much just a donut bot. All you're getting at that point is you're getting more damage because you're just trying to level your ult up to level 3. But if you can't get to the point where you get max donuts, you're just going to start losing team fights, and then you're just going to fall farther behind. And then this game is very snowbally. It's just not going to work. Hit also snowballs very well. Does really good with barrier. He's good at abusing barrier. He's good at poking barrier. All that.
Yep.
I think that I'll leave it there.
Alright. Now it's unto me! Yes, so for me, with technical for hit, I literally did not play technical until I got... Why? I literally read through every single character's kit, and the one technical that I saw that I really, really liked was hit. But yes, I do agree, because the biggest things that hit really has is the fact, like what you said, there is so much you can do with his ultimate. There is, number one, if it's a really, really, really good hit, basically the technical hit literally controls the entire game. Because it's either, you have to worry about him split pushing your tower, you have to worry about him of, hey, is he in this fight currently with us right now? Is he behind us? Is he split pushing? But like what you said, because like even like for Zoro or Para and them, like I've gone against Zoro a couple of times, of course. He will be in the fight, but the next you know, he's gone and he's already on your tower immediately. It's the fact that Hit can literally disappear from a fight and you don't know what he's doing while you're in the middle of that fight in the first place. Including that his fear of death limits. This is something that I personally do a lot of the time, is I play around his one. I play around trying to limit the DPS's visions as much as I possibly can. And including that what Hit can really do, Hit can really, really single out a target. If you're not careful and your tier 1 tower is already gone and you're too far up, and the Hit has max invis, the max invis Hit can literally just roam around, and if he finds you and you're up there, you're just dead. Because there's nothing stopping him from simply just smacking you with his death blow with his skill 1, which is the line ability that shoots out. There goes your bear, he waits for your bear to go away, and then you're just dead from there. You can't do much. Because if you try to run, he can just melee, vanish back, stun you, go invis again, wait a few moments for his death blow, smack you with death blow because you have fear of death, his cooldown goes down again for his invis, smacks you with a melee, goes invis, smacks you with melee, and you're dead. It's a fact with how this character is. It's just a fact you have to be careful around him. You have to be super aware. The thing that can counter him is one of the helpers in the game called Shu. Shu, and this is the reason why people may be confused why Shu's more oftenly used than Farmer. Shu has the secret little thing that the game doesn't tell you, even though it's not in his description. If you place him down, he will give vision on the enemy. If the enemy goes into the radius, it will reveal anyone that's invisible, including a Hit that's invisible, so you'll actively be able to see him. It makes it to where Hit cannot use any of his additional effects that are used during either he's in a cloud, in a bush, or while he is invisible. His fear of death will not activate when he is revealed by Shu. And with including Shu and everything, Shu allows you to, once it is on an enemy, you can see the enemy on the map even if they are not in one of the big white circles for the field of vision areas.
It applies the mark debuff, which is similar to what like Krillin's Vines do. So you'll be able to see them regardless of where they are on the map.
Exactly, but it's just one of the helpers that a lot of people will use anyway, even if they're not going against Hit, just for the simple part that it gives vision, especially around bosses. It helps a lot for anyone to know this.
Listen, I have nothing to say in terms of Hit because I have seen, and this is I'm gonna let Ari finish in a second, but like I just want to say this for context.
Go ahead.
That skill 1, the range on that thing, just for context. I was playing with Ari the other day. We were in a team fight, yada yada, and all we had left was the Dragon Shell. We were going to get team wiped, except for Ari, who was by himself. They crowded. All 4 people on the other team was alive. Ari is punching from like, I'm exaggerating here, of course, but like halfway across the map and just poking the shell to the point that their cooler, their tank, had no idea where it was coming from and kept spamming abilities in every direction to the point that he ended up supernovaing their own Dragon Shell, thinking Ari was coming to get the shell because he broke it by that point in time. And that allowed us just enough time, mind you, he was just messing with them psychologically that for a long period of time. It's like 30 seconds in endgame once you die. All that time, and we were able to secure the game because he was in their head the whole time. Like, that is the terror. Like, there's a reason his passive is called Fear of Death. Like, that is stupid. But continue.
And continue like what you said, you can literally just stay invisible, and especially that sense, like the Dragon Ball, the towers, they get vision. You can literally sit there as hits, stay invisible around, literally going around in circles around the tower, literally just waiting for someone to walk away from the tower, smack it, and you're gone. There have been some situations where I will literally sit there, go invisible. If I do have max invis, I do have my personal level order that I like doing. I don't play hit exactly like how Zoro Para does. I'm still learning him to a certain extent. But it's the fact, especially around endgame, if your towers are gone and there's a hit alive, you just accept you've already lost. You literally cannot do anything to stop him from him just simply outranging you and just smacking the Dragon Ball with his one over and over and over again, since he can just permanently stay invisible. Since his death blow does not reveal him when he uses while he's in invis. That's the main reason why how I used him. I will literally sit here once at a certain part of the game, once I'm level 9. You have max invis, I have my max 1, and I'm literally just walking around. Oh, I see a DPS, I smack their death, I use death blow, smack out their little barrier, and just sit there and wait. And all I do, and I've done this multiple times in some matches, it's actually carried some matches where people are trying to get mid-boss or something like that. I'll smack a barrier away early and use 2 more death blows consecutively and get a DPS to half HP because their team's just not really trying to do anything to me. And I just simply ult from there, and then boom, the DPS is dead in under a second before they can even finish off the boss in the first place. And they've already lost someone that would have had whatever snowball stacks they had in the first place.
It's so impressive. Speaking of impressive, we have the first form Frieza, aka I'm stealing your boss.
You're letting Frieza steal bosses?
Oh no, I don't want to. I'm just saying, like, that the Zarbon is so oppressive on a supercard, especially.
Let's let Jordan talk and then I'll talk, because I've faced this character. It's just this character. It's just one of the characters that I just say is fine. Let Jordan talk, sweet. I need to shut up first.
I think Frieza's kind of like a pub stomp character, where, like, if you don't know what Frieza's going to do, which is when right before the Kai spawns, he's going to go set up Zarbon on it. You know, right before the boss spawns, he's going to go set up on the boss. You know, like, if you're not playing around the fact that they have a Frieza and that he's going to be set up spots right before things spawn so that he can just burn them, because that's what he does, right? He's fast and he has his turrets that he can just tell what to do. If you're not playing around that, he will beat you, because that's how he generates value. But here's the thing: Frieza sucks if he can't do those. If you don't allow him to do those things, he's essentially useless.
Talk about it.
So I would put him. I kind of have. Okay, when Frieza got buffed for like the 3rd time, I was like, man, Frieza might be pretty good. He's kind of annoying because he was in a lot of my games. And then I realized in lane that if I see a Frieza, I could just walk around Zarbon, kill Zarbon, and then he can't do anything until the 20 seconds of Zarbon comes off cooldown. You know, if I know when the things are going to spawn because I pay attention and I have the knowledge, right? He can't do his thing. Also, he's so squishy. He has negative health. Like, it's way negative. I know it's really fast.
He is literally one of the literally so much more squishier than Trunks. Is like, dude, this not even a joke. This guy is literally the most squishiest character in the damn game.
You can land 2 skills on him in lane, and he pretty much dies.
Oh, wow.
And you have to play so well on Frieza to, like, outplay somebody. Unless they're allowing you to farm bosses for free or rat towers for free, he's not going to do anything. He's just going to feed snowball stacks. So I would put him in 17th tier. I would put him below 17. I think he still has value because I think unless you're playing against people that have high awareness and have high game sense, he can still be very effective and very strong, right? Okay. Because you can just... I mean, even if you are playing in a higher, quote-unquote, higher skill lobby, your whole team can just zone or, like, force a fight somewhere off the map, and then you just send Frieza to just go and, like, solo something. And, like, you could do it that way, like, sure, that works, but, I mean, if 4 people get zoned by 3, then like it's not because you're Frieza that you won the game. It's because your team outplayed 4 people as 3. So you could do stuff on Frieza. I don't think it's that impressive. I think it's kind of cheese, if anything, and it's just catching people off guard.
Fair enough.
But I don't think he sucks either. I think he's got some juice. You know.
Here it is.
Alrighty. No, I would be talking. I do agree. Yeah, the problem with Frieza has, truthfully, is the fact that if the players know how to fight against Frieza. For reference, every single time, because a lot of time I actually played Super Saiyan 3 Goku a long time in top lane, and whenever I saw Frieza, I just kind of like, I'm like, okay, free dub, because literally all you do, because a lot of people will try to set up Zarbon on the Kai, just like what Jordan said. Literally, all I'll do is literally just put 2 levels in the Kamehameha and literally just burst down Zarbon so quick that a lot of people who are playing Frieza, unless you're really paying attention, your Zarbon's gone. Your Zarbon's gone for 20 seconds, and my Kamehameha comes up before yours, and at that point, you are literally just a character that throws out the Doria, and that's the only thing you can do. You can't do anything else for the beginning game. Your health's too low, and especially if you're going in certain technicals, like let's say Hit can just almost kill you in under a second right off the rip of the game. Which, by the way, if you die as Frieza, your minions go away. And including that, yes, like what you said, he's like a snowball character towards bosses specifically. In a lot of team fights, he does not do that great in them unless he has a maxed ultimate and tosses that motherfucker down the lane. He has okay, like he's okay and good-ish for defense because of Zarbon and Doria, but if the enemy team knows what they're doing, and especially if there's an SSJ3 Goku, your Zarbon and Doria kind of just disappear from existence, and then you can't do anything on defense in the first place. And if you get behind as Frieza, you are literally stuck in a 3v4, because Frieza does nothing when he is underleveled. He literally becomes one of the characters in the game when he is underleveled. But there are ups and downs. Again, for like if you have super attack boost level 1, or you get superstar or whatever else, it's like he's one of those characters that can really hard bully certain characters at the beginning, just for the fact of how hard Zarbon hits, especially for how much damage he does. Including that what Frieza has, what a lot of other characters don't have, is the fact he can slap down Zarbon and Doria around the map, around minions, and they'll just clear out the minions themselves as he goes and kills other minions like halfway across the map. And then during that time, he can just call them right back after the minions that he sent Zarbon and Doria on die. But that's like all he really has. If he gets behind, especially when he's low level, he just dies. Like, he just doesn't do much. Especially if, let's say, you're like a level, like you're level 5 before him. If you bully him hard out of any XP and he doesn't get 5, he just doesn't do anything for the entire beginning game. And a lot of the time, your team will get that first boss just because he cannot secure it or do anything to it anymore. Because if he's too underleveled, your team can just jump him as soon as he comes over, even with his team, and kill him in under a second.
I have nothing to say on that. I don't really play Frieza. I have played against Frieza. Like I said, my experience has just been, again, and like exactly how you guys say, if you do not check Frieza, you will be punished for it, and that's where it can feel very impressive. But I have seen games where if you take out the minion, the value just almost to like this, right? But on average, again, there's still viability. It's just that again, he is one of those characters that you just need to know how to play them, and if you do know how to play them, you'll have fun. But if you don't, it is going to be
exactly what you said. Like exactly what you said. Not trying to interrupt you. Yeah. So if you have a really, really, really good Frieza on your team that really knows how to play them to a T, knows when to call Zarbon and Dodoria back, or you never kill them, like that's a scary Frieza because you know exactly what his weaknesses are, and he knows what his matchups are, so he plays around them very carefully.
100%. So speaking of another character that I also have not played yet, so I'm going to let y'all do the majority of the talking. The most recent character that has a buff. Mid-season? Watch some Boo.
I've played so much Boo recently. I love Boo. Feels so good right now.
There it is.
There's an ongoing conversation between Zoro and I
Okay.
We both think Boo's broken.
Ooh.
And I'm not sure if we're both being serious or not when we're saying that, if we're trolling. But I think there are a few things to note about Boo. Boo was actually not a bad character before, in the sense of like his kit overall, like his skills felt like his heal was good before, right? His gum was a very strong control ability before. His ultimate, especially at max strength, is very, very good. You can win a team fight off of a big Boo ult. His issue previously was that his HP was so low early game that you got no value out of him because he just fell behind. And this game is very early game intensive. If you fall behind, you'll typically lose. It's hard to come back in this game from a deficit. Now that they buffed his HP and they buffed his Strangle Gum, his skill 1, to do more damage, his early game is much better. He's a lot harder to kill because giving a character that has a healing ability more HP gives them so much more effective HP. Because a lot of times that you would have killed Boo previously, he would have healed. He is now healed above, where he can survive long enough to heal again, and then again and again, and that effect just slowly adds up over time, where he just has so much more HP than the enemies. And then he now can also farm a lot better and not get his farm stolen because Strangle Gum actually does damage. I think he low-key is very good in like a super start game or skill 1. I play him sometimes. I'll just super start the gum, and you just if you find someone that like walks out of position, or what I'll do is if I see them autoing a creep and I know they don't have cooldowns up, I'll let them get low enough to where I'm going to throw the Strangle up. It's either going to steal the creep because they didn't use an ability to secure it, or they're going to use an ability to secure it, and then I'm going to hit them with the gum, and then I'm going to hit them with 2 more gums right after that. So now they're like half HP, their hitbox is ginormous because that's what the gum does, and it makes them super slow, and then my DPS can just run in and just beat them up. His healing is really good late game. You can heal all your teammates. The AoE is very large. The healing is very strong. I think realistically, I would probably put him in the God of Destruction tier. I don't think he needs nerfs. I think also people just don't play him and don't play against him enough to realize how easy it is to just CC out of the heal, which is the biggest counterplay to him. Because it will put it on cooldown and it will hold all the healing. There's a lot of big AoE stun abilities right now. Even with like the Goku nerfs, like he's still a really good character. Meteor Smash Kaioken is basically half the team in a team fight. It's so big. There's some other options too. Hit can just stun him out of it. You can go hunt stun him out of it. So I don't think it's like too strong, but I think that he went from being the worst technical to being probably like in the top 4 for me.
There it
is. Alright, my turn. Yeah, I do agree. His biggest problem was the fact that he just had such little HP at the beginning of the match before his buffs that he just died so easily. And the problem is with how his kit really works around. 3 of your abilities are good, your ultimate's kind of because the problem with his ultimate is to get the quote-unquote big effect of the ultimate is you being 2 levels under the fucking enemy, and that is the one thing you don't want to happen in a match.
I would say the biggest strength of his ultimate is the healing field, actually.
Oh yeah. So definitely. If you miss the ultimate, that's fine. In all honesty, just because like what you said, the healing, the healing that Boo gives out, especially around the beginning of the game, even if you get first hit, a lot of the time you're actually having to kind of like back off as the enemy to get your health back, compared to how Boo can just simply sit there. And you got first hit. That doesn't matter because I have my healing to get me and my teammate back up. Literally I've had so many situations to where I've just had a Boo out heal the damage as me playing DPS, out heal the damage that I'm doing no matter what I do. And a lot of kills that should have happened don't happen because Boo just out heals the damage in those moments, and it's just insane. Including that with his Strangle Gun, like you said, it slows, but also, I don't know if you mentioned it. It also makes it where your opponents do way less damage. Like it does, it makes you like actually do a lot less, like a whole shit ton less.
It does apply all attack down, yes.
Yeah, and the other thing is just his dash. His dash is like if you can play Boo correctly, you can just almost kill someone off the start even with his dash around level 4 because it actually does a decent amount of damage. You can slam people into walls, interrupt people from using certain abilities, and it's one of the abilities that I think in the game you really cannot interrupt that easily.
It's very easy to interrupt.
Oh, never mind then. Okay, that's my mistake.
It's super easy to interrupt. If you have any sort of CC ability, you could just CC him out of it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's another thing too, like what you said, right? But in a situation of like laning stages, unless both of you have a stun, realistically, you're only going to really be able to stun him, and the biggest like thing that you would have to stun is him healing. But like then his dash is for free that he gets to use for a bit. But late game, like late game, like you said, it's just in team fights he heals everyone so much. I've had so many situations where I would literally get everyone half HP as a Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and the next thing you know, I see them all full health because of Boo, and I'm like, oh my lord, like it does that much healing, like holy crap.
Yeah, his buffs make it feel like, especially in the late game or even early game, it's like if you want to take on that team, you gotta take him out. Otherwise, you might J3 is the biggest threat because he's max snowball with KO, but guess what? If you get him low and Boo's around, oh, by the way, it's practically like Zamasu has, like how Zamasu has a second life or the Gammas have a second life. Boo makes it to where everybody has a second life, which is just literally it can feel like the most toxic thing. But I
and including that you can just tank. It's ridiculous.
All right,
anyway,
regarded as one of the strongest Earthling. Let's talk about Krillin.
Jordan.
I think Krillin's probably, just in the sense of the tier list, I would probably put him above 17. I think he has some small tech stuff. I think Krillin suffers from being the hardest technical to play.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I think that's the real challenging thing about him, because there's a lot of nuances that you have to understand with like the bomb placements and how his kit interacts with different debuff effects and how you can apply certain things certain ways. One thing that I think Krillin is really, really strong at, though, and this is like whenever I play him, this is all I try to do, is he is really good at boss rushing. Because all you do is you get max bombs, right? You throw all your bombs down on the boss that you have, and then as soon as the boss spawns, you drop like Spirit Bomb, Kale Combo, whatever other burst you have, and then you just Destructo Disc on top of that, and you can just insta-kill the boss and spawn. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience.
I literally have like practiced this so many times because it's just funny. It's just funny to like, oh, it's 2 minutes, Nappa spawned. Oh, Nappa's gone, guys. What happened? Like it's funny.
It just spawned. That's so funny.
I think that's one of the good things. He's also just like in Cell Juniors, he's good because he has like his mines are very good. Like mines into scatter is like very good secure. Destructor Disc, you can just kind of throw it out to secure it. It has like not that long of a cooldown, does good damage. I think he has more upsides than 17 and Frieza, but I also think that he doesn't have the same upsides that Boo Gotenks Hit would have. He doesn't have hard CC. His blind is very strong. Solar Flare is probably one of the best abilities in the game.
I would say if used correctly, and if your enemies aren't kind of dumb.
I mean, it's in a very hectic team fight, it's hard to always dodge Solar Flare.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Like if you're a good Krillin player, you have to have good positioning. So having good positioning is the key to getting off a good Solar Flare. He has the same issue where he doesn't really have an escape tool, so like you can get caught out. I mean, you have things to peel for yourself by like blinding or like smoke screening and stuff like that, but he doesn't have any of the hard team play aspects, I would say, that like Gotenks or Boo has, and he doesn't have as much of the solo carry potential as Hit does.
Yep. Is it my turn now?
You can go ahead.
All right. Yeah, for me, I haven't really touched him that much, but I do agree with what you said. It's just I will tell everyone in Enhanced to literally, how did I get blinded by Krillin? You look his direction. In the anime, Solar Flare works by the enemy literally staring at them. this works the same way in Squadra. If your character is looking at Krillin and Krillin uses Solar Flare, you will get that white flash on your screen. If you are looking away from him, you will not be blinded. You will not get a flashbang,
Mm-hmm.
the moment. But like what Jordan said, he's just one of those characters to where, like, especially that he's one of those characters that can fight. Like, he can make it kind of annoying for a hit to fight against, but only if the hit's just having a little bit of trouble against it. A lot of the time as hit, you can kind of just play around Krillin, and honestly kind of, if you expect to know what a Krillin's going to do, it's very easy to fight around that in the first place. It's just Krillin, like he said, he doesn't really have an escape other than he just throw random bullshit go. Throw random bullshit go moment. Because that really is how he is. Because you're the binds, you throw them. You're the solar flare, you throw it. You just use it, hope and pray. And then, like, his scatter bomb, just literally just hope and pray. Like, he really is one of those characters, especially that, well, one of the things he can do as well is he can kind of set up the bombs around a tower ahead of time as well. So if you're needing to rotate to a certain area, and let's say it's like 5 seconds, right? Mm-hmm. If you place those bombs correctly, you can make it to where no matter what they do, they're going to get hit by the bomb, not going to be able to get as much damage on the tower, especially that there's only going to be a few seconds that maybe, just maybe, like let's say it's a hit takes a hit and maybe gets like one hit, maybe based on what's happening. But that's really like the only thing is like just it's so hard to talk about Krillin just for the fact he just doesn't have an escape, and he really is just one of those characters that's like what you said. He's really hard to play around with because of his minds, because you need to place them how they go. But if someone's on you, the only thing you can hope and pray is random bullshit go.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what makes it fun for me, is that, like, because when I started playing technical role, I'm not gonna Jordan, I'm sorry, but like when I got into this game, I buys the technical role. I'm like, I don't understand how any of these characters work. But then I found Krillin and I found Gohan and I fell in love with the technical role. I'm like, wow, this is so much fun. And then so it's funny because before we get into him, because we have a lot to say about this guy. Then when Gotenks came out, that's what I found interesting. I'm like, they took. I feel personally, again, y'all might not agree with this, but I feel like they took the best parts of him, and made him, because his landmines are the ghost, except the ghost move. His stun and charge is his skill 1, and now I do think that his stun is better because, one, it can go wherever, and I don't need to lock onto a target to do that. And including
in short for that as well. Talking about that is how do you avoid Super Saiyan Gotenks' 1? You have to vanish out of it. You have to use your vanish tab. There's no other way to get out of it. You cannot use a leap. You cannot use a dash. You cannot even use IT Goku. If you use IT Goku, literally, he still chases you halfway across the map and smacks you and TPs back to where you are.
And I think that's like why I had fun with Krillin, but then I had fun with Krillin. That was my first tech character. But the prodigal son of the MC of the series, the man who I gave an entire ass tier 2 called Rathan, because if you know, you know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the menace to society of Squadra, Gohan.
Oh, I have nothing to say about this character. Yeah, no, you guys can go ahead.
Okay.
So, I was joking. That was humor.
This is the Gohan.
I'm the Gohan guy. Everyone just, if I play a different character, people are like, put the Gohan in the bag, little bro. Come on. Like, enough's enough. So, everyone hates Gohan, which I assume is just because he is a strong character and he feels unfun to fight. He definitely has a lot of upsides. His single target lockdown is very strong. His laning phase is relatively strong. He has... he can fight well, he can secure farm, he can steal farm, he has a lot of defensive tools, he has a lot of mobility, he's got a little bit of everything. His movement speed's very high. He's kind of like the balanced character.
like in everything. Like he's not good in particularly one role, but he's good at everything pretty much. In a sense, he's balanced in everything.
I would say he's good at pretty much everything, and then he's really good at certain things. I think it's probably a better way to describe it. So like, there's a lot of things you can do with Gohan. There's a lot of builds that work. He has a lot of built-in defense between his passive and then his skill 3 and his ult, and there's a lot of ways for you to live a lot of scenarios that you probably shouldn't live as a technical character. You basically build him as a pseudo tank in a lot of scenarios, and you basically play him as like kind of like an off tank sort of role where you're just looking to find one person on the enemy team. Usually, it's whoever has the most snowball stacks, or it's whichever character has the highest amount of like lead farm wise or whatever, and you just ult, you dash stun them, you ult them with the second part of the ult. After you dash stun them, they're CC'd for 2 seconds, they take a ton of damage, your team dumps on them, they die. It's a 3v4, right? Very good character. I don't think, and this might be controversial, maybe I'm biased, I don't think he's as good as Hit. I think Hit's way more broken.
I agree, because I have my own things to say about Gohan as well.
I think Gohan is very good, and he is very, very strong, but I think Hit literally hits a certain point of the game, and he's just an unfair character. Like, unless you have a 60-second cooldown in the form of Shu, or you have god-tier Krillin mines, or you have a Gotenks that is very good at playing against Hit, like, Hit just makes everyone's life a living hell. Even if you have those things, Hit can just be like, oh, well, they shoot, I can't do that. Like, all the Hit players I know, Avocado, Para, Zoro, one of their biggest gripes is Super Saiyan Goku passive, because it reveals them. They're like, well, now I can't play the game for 10 seconds. Oh my god, forbid you can't play the game for 10 seconds. Yeah, you didn't know that?
Okay, hold on. No, because again, I just got to S rank recently with just only playing Hit. That is news to me. That is good to know. That explains fucking everything.
Yeah, they hate his passive.
My God.
I'm saying, like, these are like niche interactions that they're like, oh, I can't do the thing that I want to do where I just get to be the server admin, and that's disingenuous and a little hyperbolic. I agree, they're not the server admin, but when Hit gets out of control, Hit is so frustrating to deal with. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I've never played against a Gohan, and I've been like, man, that Gohan, he just solo carried that game. Like, I've never once had that happen. Maybe that's because I play the character. So, like, I'm playing against it, so, like, it feels fair, because it's a mirror match.
Right.
But it never feels unfair, It just is like, okay, well, maybe that guy made a good play, or maybe he out-macroed me and he backdoored a tower. But, like, it feels fair. It feels like, oh, I could have done something about that.
Fair enough. So where would you rank him?
I would put him in God of Destruction in front of Gotenks. That's where I would put him.
Okay. All right. Take it away.
Alright, my opinion I do agree with a lot of what you said. Of course, like, he's good in almost every single situation. The thing is, the only gimmick that I really have with him that I personally see, again, I agree with everything. This is something personally to me. Anyone that I've seen play Gohan, stop fucking going for the goddamn towers when your team is fucking fighting with each other. The entire point is Gohan is to play with this goddamn team.
Gohan's like one of the best rat characters. What do you mean?
There is so many times where I will see to where, oh, well, I'm going to go for the tower. Okay, and congratulations. You're dead. I have seen so many people do that, and it annoys the hell. Even the people on my team, it's like, yeah, you just died 9 times in a row feeding them snowball stacks, and we are the ones having to deal with a 3v4 almost the entire damn game. That is the thing that will annoy me when people continue to do it. It's like, number one, he has such a good abilities that can help out in a team fight, especially if it's more of like an even ground. Like what you said, he stuns, ults someone, entire team dumps shit on that person, they die. Instead of, I'm going to ignore what my team's doing and go for tower. It's like, dude, you can go for tower when about 3 of these people are dead. Like, bro.
That feels a little disingenuous. That's not really a Gohan issue. That's more of just someone not playing tech very well. But I mean,
that's understandable, yeah.
No, with
but
Gohan,
especially with how Gohan's passive is, to where you deal increased damage when you're connected to him. entire concept is like literally when you have a DPS around you and you're connected to them, stun someone, ult them, DPS goes on them, that person's dead. Boom. Especially that with his early game too. Your DPS does so much more damage early game. It's insane compared to other characters. But still, like what you said, it's just the fact that where it just does basically everything in like a concept. But it's just with Gohan, like you said, like he has potential to where if you play him really well, you can save your team, you can confirm kills, you can stop certain abilities from happening. Especially that the reason, like what you said, the biggest thing that Gohan has that he compares to Gotenks' stun is Gohan's stun is instant after he hits you. It is not a overtime damage effect. He just smacks you, he staggers you, boom, that's it. That's done.
And by then it's GG's.
Like, GG is ult and die.
And you don't even have to stun someone with the dash to get value out of it, because if it's unfully charged, you still get no skills, no attack. Sometimes it's better to just insta dash someone and just make them not be able to do anything than it is to stun them.
Yep.
Amen.
Sure.
But
it is good in certain situations. Like let's say it's the SSJ3. It's like if you're in range, you smack them and you walk away. Just like, yep. Sorry, father, but no, denied. You don't get the right to do that.
I think in technical, it's like a well diverse cast of characters. Obviously, again, things, and I think that with Gohan, like Hit doesn't really need that. He can solo on his own, but like again, the players, you could tell like the difference, where it's like these are more team dependent, situational. So that is technical in a nutshell. We are going on now to our.
I was about to say that you stole it from me.
Yeah, so we're going now on to, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different here. I want us, before we speak about the characters, I want us to rate these two. This is why I'm doing that. If you are watching this video right now and have gotten up to, you'll know that the last tier list that I did with the last group of people, this was probably the most heated discussion of all. So I want us to place them on the tier first, and then we can talk about it. So not assessing kits or anything like that. What tier would you put Cooler in?
Cooler, God of Destruction. Caulifla, Xenotier.
Jordan, what'd you say?
I think people just are bad at playing against Caulifla. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I think a lot of people complaining about Provoke. It's annoying. Don't get me wrong. It's very strong. Provoke is one of the single strongest factors in the game. Like you have to play around Provoke.
Right.
But at the same time, a lot of getting provoked is about being in the correct position. Mm-hmm. I feel like Provoke is stronger than everything Cooler can do, but I feel like Cooler is a more complete overall character. And I feel like Cooler is also a carry character. Like, if you're the best player in the lobby and you're playing Cooler, you could probably just 1v3 people and just win the fight.
That's the main reason why I was kind of like what I was going to say about them both, personally, was Cooler's more of like which one would you prefer solo queue? In my opinion, it would be Cooler. If you're playing more with a very, very more cooperative team, it would be Caulifla.
Yeah, and I think there's certain circumstances where you would want one over the other just based off of team composition or certain strategies. I think they're very close. I don't really think I can reasonably put one
in a higher
extensively
tier.
far above the other, and I don't think either one of them are broken. I think they're just both very strong. I think the reason why they feel so frustrating is because the rest of the tanks are so far below them that it's just you're only playing against these two characters the whole entire time.
That is a sheer fact.
You know?
Well, that is it. Yeah, sure. Now, do we want to talk about each individual character, or?
I mean, I feel like with these, we kind of talked about what it is. So mainly, we talked about Khalifa's. Let's talk a little bit about his retaliation. Talk about why Cooler's. Go a little bit more in depth on why Cooler's the most. But I feel like for this one, we don't really have to talk about much. And realistically, I think that Jordan said it best. We're probably going to fly through these guys because, again, the gap is just so damn big. till the next, which I would put good money. The next character is going to be like not Topo, but like the next character for season 2. It's going to automatically start off with a tank.
In my opinion, I thought Topo would have been like a tank at least.
I thought so too. That's why I was shocked. I thought they were going to do one of each, which I thought would have been much better. But hey, like now we know it's just going to be a mosh podge. I think that because there was no tank at the start of the 3, we're going to start off with a tank. But we'll have to see what they do. So, anyways, so Cooler's retaliation. Let's talk about it, and then talk about why he's more complete.
So Cooler's retaliation is one of the highest and probably one of the far and few examples of skill expression in this game, because it allows you to essentially iframe things. So if you're very knowledgeable and you're very aware and you understand how abilities function, you can do things like iframe a spirit bomb or like iframe a stun or things like that. One of the most important things to know about Cooler is that he has to be hit with an ability, or he has to be hit in general while using an ability to trigger retaliation. So sometimes you kind of just have to not hit him, if that makes any sense. That's your best option. And then it's on the Cooler to force you to hit him so that he can trigger his retaliation. But if he doesn't have retaliation, his abilities are much weaker. Generally speaking, like his Death Stopper is much weaker without retaliation. Death Chaser is much weaker without retaliation. His ult is insane with retaliation. It's so good without it because you usually Roto into it.
Yep.
But with retaliation, it's very strong. His I-beams are usually what you're using to get retaliation because of the short cooldown, and you're just kind of spamming that anyways. Getting the burn damage from the retaliation is good, but it's not that important.
Yeah.
Like you can get away with not optimizing that at all times. So I think if you are a very skilled player and you understand other characters' kits, you can make good use of retaliation. I think if you're just slamming buttons, Cooler will not feel as strong as he is.
Alright.
Yep. I do agree with a lot of what you said, especially for one of the biggest things as well is the fact with Cooler's ultimate, it can really either help secure bosses or keep people off of it, especially at level 11. It is possibly one of the biggest ults in the game with Frieza, to where it's just almost impossible to actually really avoid in a lot of situations, especially in a team fight. And you're like in those little crevasses or tunnel areas, even down the lane. It's like it's very hard to avoid this character's ultimate in the first place. But especially, like, he's one of those characters early game that if you're just not careful of fighting him, he can very easily just do so much damage to you overall. Especially like you said, his I-beams gets like the continuous damage apply. His Death Stomper gets the additional like little AoE uses, and then especially when he has retaliation, the one thing that I think a lot of people tend to forget is the fact that when he has retaliation is when he can do that move when he dashes at you, he grabs you and slams you on the ground.
Straight from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fun character.
Really, I don't really have anything else to say. It's just he's one of those characters that is very, very easy. He's simple concept, but also like you have to play him correctly. But you can still, if you play him correctly, you can carry an entire game pretty much on your own.
And you just
especially during a lot of team fights.
The difference between using these. Get to Baby next. I want to talk about him.
Yeah,
I've had so much fun with Cooler. I mainly do this, but I think what sets the difference is actually something that you said, Ari, where Cooler, if you are solo queue, oh man, you can run the show. And then, mind you, so there are top players like Pride, etc., and Happy that main Khalifa, and then they solo with Khalifa. But again, those are top players. You're like the average Joe. Like she's way better in like a coordinated setting, whereas like you could solo queue all the way up to with Cooler. I think that's where like he gets a little bit of opinion, because it's like Jordan said it best, right? Provoke is not as daunting as people are making it out to be. You just have to force yourself to play a little bit differently, right? It's like the same thing. Like even though Shu, right, makes makes hit, like revealed and stuff like that, guess what? Depending on where they're placed, yeah, you just might not be able to, cook as fast when you're playing hit. But guess what? After shoe's over, you now have seconds to do whatever you want and be as oppressive as you can, right? Whereas provoke, it's like, okay, cool. I'm either taking the fight, I'm either going away, but then, I feel like again, well, guess what? In a team fight, guess what? We're just swamping her. Whereas, like, again, his main thing, hit me and I will make you pay. Hence retaliation.
If I can,
that is a more daunting.
Is it okay if I talk about Khalifa a little bit as well about the provoke in the first place? The thing about like what Jordan said about her provoke, where people may say like, oh well, you have to play like a little bit. The problem is the fact that where you have to always play away from her, so she can very easily zone out DPSs in the first place from them trying to, let's say, like you're trying to get an objective, right? The problem is you're gonna have to either take the long way around where potentially the boss is already gone based on what DPSs you're fighting against. Let's say it's like, let's say for an example, it's Super Saiyan 3 and Piccolo. If the Khalifa is aggroing towards, like, let's say your DPS, like both your DPSs, and trying to make it to where they can never get near, since how provoke works is once she provokes you in the first place, all your abilities and everything you do is focused only on her. You can only, you literally cannot do anything for a couple seconds. Now, the upside of it is if you do know what the cooldown, the timers are, if she hits you, because her kicks are a cone. So if she hits you with the longer part of the cone, it's only around 2 seconds. If she hits you with the closer part of the cone, it's 5 seconds. Now, the thing about it is the fact that if it is a very, very good Khalifa with a team, it makes it to where it is very, very hard to play around, because let's say, like, I'm playing Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because I personally experienced this. Even if I am trying to position in a certain way, if the Khalifa hits me one time, I literally cannot do anything, because even if I use my Kamehameha, let's say to try to do some damage to her, or maybe burst her down a little bit, Khalifa has an ability, which is a circle ability, which blocks all energy attacks from an enemy. Everything, pretty much. And it makes it to where it is very, very hard to play around with certain characters for the fact that she can very easily zone out these certain characters from ever getting near areas. Now, like what Jordan said, it's all about positioning. It's harder to try to do that positioning as well, especially to win with her too, if you're not careful to how far it can go. She can throw it and jump on you immediately, provoke you, and kind of just walk away to where you're forced to just not do anything. Because if you use your Kamehameha and the person is smart, like with I don't know if you said it, Jordan. I think you said about like pride and happy in them. Is that as soon as you release it, as soon as they see that animation go, they use that shield and they avoid about 80% of the damage and barely take anything because of provoke in the first place. And especially what she can also do is with her ultimate, you can basically make her provoke last for 10 seconds with her ult alone, making it a very annoying to play around because all she needs to do is hit you one time with either her ultimate, and it just makes it to where, like what Jordan said, it's just trying to play around her, but it's very hard to play against her when both your DPSs are having a harder time trying to position in good positions when she can force you away from them. Just because of the provoke in the first place. But like what you said, it's all about the provoke with her, etc.,
I think that was well put. So, moving on to the next set of tanks. So I think I'm going to call an audible.
Me and Jordan know where we're putting this character.
Yeah,
me and Jordan know where Baby's getting put. There is no ifs or buts.
Before we solo and talk about Baby, what I want to do is I'm going to make an audible, and I think what we're going to do, I want to rank them all. So, Baby, what tier are you guys saying? And then we'll go.
I want to hear Jordan's opinion.
I don't have a whole lot of strong opinions on Baby. I haven't played him. I'm not sure if I have him unlocked. I might or may not. I don't know. But I don't play a whole lot of tanks. So it's hard to say. I don't even see babies in my game, and when I do, it's people throwing half the time. So like that's just a negative connotation to put on a character. Okay. I was talking to someone the other day that was playing Baby, and I was seeing some stuff. I think he is a character that is not as bad as other characters, but I think he needs some help. He needs some sort of numbers buff. He needs some sort of.
I think, I think he's put in Yamcha tier, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think he needs some sort of uptick in some way. I think He's very team reliant. If you don't have characters that can leverage like the body steal, like or like the possession, is that what it's called? I think.
Possession.
Body steal, possession, whatever it is. It's basically the thing about it. If I can quickly say about the possession too, it almost becomes useless when because there's a problem about it. The baby has to get the rush attack kill. If he does not, it doesn't do anything.
Where would you
That's
guys
the worst
rank
part.
Zamasu?
I think Zamasu is probably an Earthling tier. I think I think you
I
can
agree.
play him for the most part, but he definitely feels a little weak. Vegeta I would put in Z Warrior. I think he's fine.
I agree.
I think he has very clear strengths and weaknesses.
First Z Warrior tier. I like it.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
I think he's a very balanced character. I think if you're good at the game and you're good at Vegeta, you can do good things. I think if you're not good at the game or not good at Vegeta, you're going to struggle.
Yep.
He feels relatively fair outside of late game where he's immortal, but if you're letting Vegeta get to the point where he's immortal, then like there's counterplay to that where you're playing early game. Cell is in Yamcha tier. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have tried recently with my squad. We've been forcing Cell. We even played him in the tournament yesterday in some loser bracket matches just to test it out. Even like trying to funnel things into him, we can get him to transform like sub 3 minutes. It's still just his early game is so weak. It's so just if you're playing
absolutely terrible.
If you're playing against a good bottom lane, you're just going to get punished, and you're going to be behind. And the worst thing you want to do in this game is put yourself behind.
His HP too. His HP is so much lower than every other tank. It's ridiculous. You just shred him so fast that he instantly has to back off from the bottom lane fight right off the rip. It's like, dude, it is ridiculous. Like, you were supposed to be a tank, not a mosquito.
That's so funny. And then so obviously there's not much because y'all went in on these characters. So we won't talk about like them too much, but what I do want, anything in Yamcha tier, I want you guys to give me your opinions on what you would give to these characters to make them be, basically not in Yamcha tier, whether it's like an HP buff, damage buff, etc. What would you give each of them a little bit more viable within their, without making them,
I think just at a glance, I think you'd probably bring his lifesteal numbers up a little bit, probably somewhere in between where they are now and what they were in the network test, where he was very strong.
Okay.
I think. Okay, so here's the thing with Baby, is he's a tank character, but he's kind of cosplaying as a tank half the time, because if you use the possession ability to go inside of one of your teammates, you're now fighting a 3v4, and you're offsetting that 3v4 by making the character that you are inside of now like a person and a half. So you're still losing out of that frontline pressure, which is why I said he's very team reliant, because you need characters that can take space in place of the tank with the extra damage and lifesteal from him. But right now you don't leverage enough lifesteal to keep that character in the fight. But at the same time, if you crank those numbers too high, then you make someone an immortal raid boss, and then it's not fun to play against. So it's a slippery slope, but I feel like that's kind of the gameplay loop that they want for him, where they want you to make someone on your team feel very strong.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, what they could do, like you said, I think maybe just turning up the lifesteal just a tiny bit would be a little bit of a difference. But one of the things I personally think would probably want to be done is try to increase his base damage a little bit, or increase his base health by a little bit for those two. Like, increase the damage of his one by just not too much to where it's insane, but like to a point to where it's respectable, to where it can actually still, like, the line ability he does that pushes you back and shit. I think that doing a little bit more damage, and the little ring thing he does when he's like moving around and doing the pulse attack or whatever the fuck it is, I think those base damage numbers going up a little bit, and him getting a little bit more health, would be helpful for him to be a tank, for him to be able to stay like in, not where I get literally to a single bar and I have to go into possession 100%. Almost all the time. 100%. I just think those would help him out, because his possession's on a very long cooldown compared to everything else in this kit.
I mean, I feel like that's well said. so I don't want to talk too much about Vegeta because, again, like I said, I think we're all in agreement that he's like perfect as is. Obviously, as long as you don't let him become that raid boss. But I want to talk about Zamasu for a little bit. So, and
Well,
the reason why I want to talk about
do we want to talk
Zamasu.
about Cell first? Well, we were talking about because you said baby and then
What would you? Sorry, I jumped ahead of myself. What did you guys want to buff for Cell?
Jordan, you first.
I think they need to just rework how his transformation works. I think the bioenergy idea is cool, right? And it's like, I'm glad that they tried it, but he would be an infinitely better character if he just transformed at level 7.
I agree with this. I 100% agree. I think what they would need to do, like you said, revamp his entire transformation. Make it where he transforms at level 7. He has higher health at the beginning of the game so he doesn't get exploded in 2 seconds. I also think that I think his heals should go off a little bit faster compared to everything else he has, so then he actually feels like more of a tank that can stay in the fight a little bit longer. And maybe, in my opinion, I think maybe the 3, like the little regeneration he does, I don't think it should do damage. I think it should have maybe a little bit of a knockback after it's used. Not a huge amount, just a little, to where it could potentially get people off of you. You know what I mean?
So I think okay. So Cell's, just as an overview, his primary issue is that in order for him to transform, he wants to fight people, right? Because that's the fastest way for him to get bioenergy. But he's so squishy he can't fight anybody. So by changing it that he doesn't need the bioenergy to transform, or you do something where, depending on how much bioenergy that you get like certain stat buffs upon transformation or whatever. Like, they still want to keep that mechanic.
Such as, let's say, like, ready for the bioenergy, for each part of the passage, you get more health.
Regardless of how they would want to tweak that, if they want to keep that mechanic in there, which I feel like is flavorful and does make sense for Cell as a character, the way that it interacts with needing for it to be done in order to transform is counterintuitive to his early game design. Because you can't fight as a character that's going to die immediately. So now all you're doing is you're inting, you're throwing your lead to then be a character that is slightly stronger, but still weaker than the enemy because you put them so far ahead. Right. So instead, by removing the bioenergy requirement in order for him to transform and making it something to get the leverage to get benefits, you would be able to play him in a way that is like, okay, well, we're not going to fight. I'm going to, like, skirmish, like, use my abilities, poke them, and then run away, which is very much something that First Form Cell would do anyways. So I feel like it's very much so still in the flavor of the character.
Yep.
What I think would be cool, obviously, they would have to, like, completely be a rework, but like all of your guys' boss, but I think that like it would just be so cool if like they added like a half, like if they did keep the bioenergy, because that's what makes him a unique character.
Do the transformations. Do the half transformations.
At the half mark, he becomes second form Cell, and then finally into his final form. Yes, I think that would be cool because it just, to me, it's cool that like he just jumped straight to perfect, but like at the same token, I'm like we're missing a whole ass form, and like he even has dialogue with 17 and 18. Which is hilarious, by the way, if you ever team him up.
But the thing is, I think giving him I say his second transformation is you have a timer before you transform. And the reason for that, I say maybe like a 5 to 10 second timer, and the reason for this is because I think if you had 2 transformations, you could purposely have 2 immunities to make it where you take you can literally survive for 2 times completely for free without anyone stopping you. I think if they're like what you said, if they're going to do that, once you get to a certain part of your bioenergy, you have a timer before it forces you into your second transformation.
Right, yeah.
When you want to, your third transformation, you can choose when you want to do it or not. I think that's what they could do.
I like that. So, I like what we talked about here. So now I want to go to Zamasu. So the one thing I want to know about your guys' opinion, and we don't have to talk like too much in depth, I just want your guys' opinions on this matter. So Zamasu from the network test, if you are familiar with, and if you are not, Zamasu was like the number one. For like, it was like to the point that like he was just deemed broken. Like if you were running a tank, like it made Vegeta look weak. Sad to see like you were running Zamasu. So he does have a second life ability through, I believe, his passive. And his music.
So from when Zamasu's passive is all the way up to a certain point, it is a certain threshold to where if his HP is decreased to a certain point, sorry, it will consume his passive and quote unquote revive him, which will give him another health bar to a certain point. And another thing he can do really fast is with him, he is able to ult to get another life. So he technically has 2 lives in one from his passive and one from his ultimate.
Right. And then so
with the passive is only to a certain threshold to where the passive is up.
Right. And so my question to you guys is, and like I said, the tank role I think is the most unfortunate out of the because of the I don't want to say skill gap, but like the character's skill gap, not player skill gap. Because even people could make him look like the best character in the game. But for him, my question to you guys is, because of these two characters existing, how do you feel, or like where do you see like using Zamasu as like that threshold, like him being at one point in time the top G and then out of the woodwork? Where do you see the tank role going, of like where it can go, but obviously to the point that it's not more broken than this? Like obviously I think that we need to get it to a state where it's balanced, right? And I think that he is obviously, again, you don't touch him because this is where everyone needs to be. But like with him, with tuning, right, to make it to where, like, again, you don't want it to be, pre-network test Zamasu, where it was like just the most egregious thing out there, like where people were playing this over this, right? Where do you see the tank role going, and like what abilities could be in the game that they were to give Zamasu a buff? Like, oh, it's nothing too crazy. He's like a viable tank, like here, but not giving abilities to new characters that like a provoke, like a retaliation, where it's like broken thing ever. And then again, now instead of it being everyone's here, it's how high up can we take this tier just beyond what it is? You know what I mean? So like my question basically is using like say a Zamasu as a threshold of like what once was, what can be, and what currently is. How do you see the tank role becoming a like a technical class where it's like everyone is not perfection?
Something. I want Jordan to go first. Jordan, you go first.
I feel like the main thing that sets apart like the top tanks to the lower tanks is that the top tanks have they have really good identities and they have really strong mechanics, on top of having offensive pressure and defensive tools. So Zamasu, right, as a character, that he has a lot of defensive tools. He has a lot of regen, sustain, second life. His ult gives him like immunity. The slow is very strong, things like that. But a lot of times he's not really doing a whole lot of damage. He's not very threatening on the offensive side. He's just kind of there. Whereas Vegeta is similar in the fact that he doesn't do a ton of damage, but Vegeta has low cooldowns, so he just kind of whittles you down and he outtrades you.
Now, if I could say something, I think if Zamasu is able to get his passive just a little bit via fighting enemy opponents, I think it would make him a lot more better to be able to fight during. Because the problem is with how Zamasu is, he has low cooldowns for his kit, but the biggest problem he personally has is the fact that the tank and the DPS can completely fucking ignore you and go for your DPS instead. Because you don't stun, you don't provoke, you don't do more damage. The only things you really have is you have a slow with your one, you have a dash that literally uses dash and hit the opponent, you have a apply damage over time with your circle, and then your ultimate just hits somebody and it puts down an AoE slow. But that's it. That's really all he has, other than he has a second life. So a lot of the time, especially around the beginning of the matches, you can really sit here and just completely ignore him, especially during the early games, to where, the enemy DPS is dead, now you focus on the Zamasu because now it's a 1v2. There's not much he can really do about it in the first place. Now, there are some really good Zamasu that I've seen, like Yeet Yak, Crimson. Crimson plays his own way, but it's like, it's the factor where people make him work because some people aren't used to fighting him, and once you know how a character works, you can really make them play around. Especially if your DPS knows how to play around that Zamasu, both of you can have very good synergy to where even a cooler Khalifa can actually have a little bit of trouble with it, just for the fact that the Zamasu has so much sustain with his healing, the second life, the slows, and the poison, that if you can't even get to the DPS and you're fighting the Zamasu, you can't really do much other than hit the literal tank that literally just keeps healing, and then the enemy DPS keeps coming in to poke you, to where you don't have healing. The Zamasu does. If you're not able to keep putting pressure on that DPS, eventually you're both going to die or have to go back to tower, because Zamasu is able to put up this type of pressure onto these opponents. But the problem is once you start going to mid game with him, or even to late game, he just, unless you're building him with divine cards a certain way, he's so squishy and can only do so much and so little that he just doesn't do as much as what Khalifa and Cooler can do. Like, yes, he can go in and throw a big ass ball that does damage, but it's only one instance of damage, and if people have barrier, it literally does nothing. And the only thing you've done is threw down an ultimate that doesn't group up people like how Cooler does and then explodes. It doesn't be able to provoke multiple people at once to make it where people are focused on you. No, it's just an ult that slows people, and a lot of the time it doesn't do anything all that much, especially if your teammates kind of capitalize on it. Like, it's just, he has this problem in the where he is one of the most tankiest characters in the game with his second lives and sustain and all of this. Especially since he gets so much of his passive off the creeps, the Cell Juniors, the Kai, all this stuff. He can continue to get his passive up, but it just doesn't matter if it gets to mid to late game and it's either even or you're behind. Because then if you're behind, you just get shredded by all these other DPSs that have maybe these snowball stacks or anything. So they shred you down and kill you in seconds.
Well said. And so that wraps up our tanks. So this is where we're saying for here. Lastly, the largest role in the game, and I think the one that we're gonna.
Oh yeah, by the way, I will talk. I will be personally the person that will talk about Jack first because he's getting put in Yamcha tier.
So
I'm sorry.
What I do want to go, I want to group them. So I want us to rank these.
Okay.
And then
so
I want these four because these are the menaces of the game. I want to do these last, but when we get to starting with Daima, we're gonna go individually, but I want to rank them by groups.
No problem. Let's go ahead.
So we're putting.
I think
we're all in agreement about Bojack being there. Where would y'all put Deborah?
I think Jordan can agree with me. He's just, oh my god, it's so hard to rank Deborah because all the other DPSs just do so much more than him. But it's like, it doesn't feel like he needs a rework at all, and it also doesn't Jordan, say your opinion first.
Low key, I think he's bugged right now. I have no evidence of this. I'm going straight off vibes. But every single time that I have played Deborah or I've played with a Deborah, I feel like people should be getting petrified and they're not getting petrified for some reason.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yes.
I don't know what's up with that. I don't play a whole lot of Bojack. It's like I'll troll and play Bojack for fun or whatever every once in a while.
I played I will say this. I literally played Trunks and Bojack to S rank, so I do have a lot about to say about Bojack because there are a few things that need buffs, but also there is something that I want to talk about so badly because if they do this, it would make him so much more bearable to play.
We'll get to it. So where are we putting Deborah though?
I'm trying to think. Would I be as or less? Where would I be in relation to if I had a Frieza or a Zamasu on my team? How would I feel about having a Deborah? I would probably feel worse about having a Deborah on my team than I would about a Zamasu or a Frieza, right?
Okay.
I think he does need buffs. I think he feels like he should be strong early game, but he doesn't feel like a strong early game character. So I think they need to maybe buff his initial numbers a little bit to make him more threatening. Also, he just kind of does nothing late game, so
the fall off is real.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Gammas from the Dragon Ball Super movie.
I think they need buffs.
And
I think they're just too squishy.
Now, this one probably we're going to have the most to say, because I know that we all have had that experience. So, mind you, so wait, but here's what I want to preface with. This is the only time, I know I made the criteria of, that this is like the average player here, but with this one, because again, I think that he has the highest skill ceiling potential, if you know how to play him right. I want you to view Piccolo alone, and only Piccolo. You're assuming that the Piccolo knows what they're doing and how to actually use it. That being the case, where would you put a very good Piccolo?
If we're assuming that the Piccolo knows how to do Piccolo things, I would put him... Because, I play with Tax. Tax is, the Piccolo player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, Tax makes Piccolo feel okay in most situations. There are some times where, in certain team comps or in certain scenarios, I'm like, man, I wish we didn't have Piccolo.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually not that bad. It's usually something that we can turn around. We just have to play around.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, generally speaking, he's fine. But that's, the top percentage of Piccolo players.
Right, exactly. Yeah, anything else I feel like would be lower.
Yeah. So now let's go on to each character. Probably try to rework the buff from them. Let's start off with Bojack, because I actually have a lot to say about him in the first place. Is that fine? Alright. Full power Bojack. The biggest thing that I believe, in my opinion, because again, I played him a lot and I really like his kit. Please, for the love of God, make it to where when he uses his 3, the big ass AoE circle, when his passive is activated, one of the minions or one of the assassins go out from the ring, hit the person, and then go back into the ring. That would literally be one of the things they could do. It would make it so much better, because the problem is with Bojack, with his passive, number one, he needs to hit level 7 as fast as he possibly can. That's the biggest thing about him. The other problem he has is his passive. 2 of his abilities, which a lot of the time you're comboing, which is his mines and his 1, you only really a lot of the time get off 1 Galactic Assassin. And the problem is, those are your 2 main abilities to get the passive off. Now, my opinion to where I think what they could do, they need to make it to where, this is specifically from his passive alone. For all the Galactic Soldiers, all 4 of them, only 2 of them are good. 2 of them are absolute garbage. The ball. Make it faster. Literally just make it faster. That's it. Literally just make the ball go faster, because it is so slow and so obvious that literally everyone can avoid it with even their eyes closed. Make it to where it goes faster, to where it's harder to avoid. Now, for the beam, the little beam that one of them do, make it either to where it's wider, or it's wider and faster to come out. Because Bojack's passive actually can hurt you very hard if they actually decide to hit. But the other problem he has, again, like what I said, if you want to get the passive off, you need to either throw his Galactic Buster, and this is something I did with him personally, is I would try to get the passive off first on somebody a lot of the time, especially I would try to rotate through them to specific ones. He has good base damage numbers for his 1 and 2 personally, if you know how to use them correctly, especially where a lot of people tend to forget or not realize is the fact that the mines, the damage is all spread out on the mines. They're not all enclosed. One of the things you could do, though, is if people dare to get near you, you can throw the mines on a wall, and if they dare to get near you, they will blow the fuck up. But, continuing, his 3, it needs to be able to not only, because it procs the Galactic Assassin icon, but even if you were actively rush attacking the person, none of the Galactic Assassins move at all to hit them until after the circle is done. What needs to be done is a little tiny revamp to make it to where one of the Galactic Assassins in your rotation they literally disappear from the ring, either throw their ability or use their ability or whatever it is during the rotation at the opponent, and then go back to doing the same thing animation into the ring again. So then your passive can actually be procced with 3 of your abilities So then you're not relying on only being able to proc it one time from trying to use the mines in the one, and that's it. Another thing I will say is I believe the mines do need to come out a little faster. They're very easy to avoid a lot of the time, especially at lower levels, because people can literally see you doing the animation. It is probably the easiest ability to avoid in the game, especially when it's lower level. Secondly, his ultimate needs to do more damage. It is the probably weakest hitting ultimate in the game, probably by far. The only thing it can really be used for is really trying to defend your tower, and even then, it does not do enough damage in the first place to kill anybody, or anyone to make you back off, compared to, let's say, big ass circle spirit bomb almost doing 20k to your ass. But anyway, these are like the main things I would say to do to him. I wouldn't say to increase his HP at all, in my opinion, with him, just because it's like, again, your main focus should be getting to level 7 as fast as you can. He does get decent amount of health, but it's like all these other things need to be adjusted or done for him to, do his job, because he doesn't really play like other DPS. He doesn't play as aggressive as other ones. He's more of like the more defensive one, so it's like, make him defensive. Make it to where his abilities actually do shit with each other, instead of nothing. Another quick thing. Make it to where when his fucking ring that he throws out, that circle, to where if you ult, it does not force the circle to disappear. It is infuriating, because if you try to use the circle to slow down people, right, which is the entire point of it, if you ult, the circle instantly disappears. It's like, please, I beg.
Jordan, do you have anything to say about Bojack?
Bojack's a bad character. He needs buffs. I don't know how to buff him. I don't play him. But he needs buffs.
Fair enough. Deborah. I think we already talked about like the buffs like that. But what else could be? Because I think what Jordan said is like what I actually also had said in the Deborah.
Yeah, basically for me, it's the exact same.
How would you make him viable in like mid and early game, like with that Petra, if you get it off right?
I would say maybe for his spears, if it's level 1, you have 1 spear. If it's level 2, you have 2 spears. If it's level max, you have 3 spears. But also to what I think the spears should do, I think the spears should fill up the petrification gauge a little bit and do a bit more damage, base damage, compared to his like a lot of his kit. I would also say maybe for the flame, like his flame breath, even though it's on a low cooldown, for like the base damage, not the tick damage, the base damage of it to be a little higher, so that it actually does shit. I think his one is kind of fine. It's so like it's honestly a lot of the time you don't even realize that he uses it in the moment. A lot of the time, his ultimate. I have nothing to say about the ultimate. I really don't know what the fuck to do with it. In all truth and speaking, it is almost practically fucking useless, other than either using it on someone's petrification to try to increase their gauge, I guess, or to literally just straight up kill somebody once you petrify them in the first place.
Jordan, what do you have on the gammas?
They're just too squishy, I think. I also think only getting Cordbreaker at rank 3 ultimate and only being able to use it once feels kind of bad. I understand, like, flavor-wise why you choose to do that, but considering that you get, like, a worse Spirit Bomb once a game if you get to that point in the game, and then it's also a detriment to you because Gamma 2 dies, it's kind of like,
100%.
That was cool, I guess.
Yeah, I would say I agree as well. I think during his ultimate, if he's doing the pose ult, I think he should at least have like a few seconds of like invulnerability, maybe like a 1.5 second invincibility, so that he doesn't just fucking explode. But also, like, for what you said about the ultimate too, I think with the ultimate, like the Core Breaker you said, I think when you use the Core Breaker ultimate, it doesn't consume Gamma 2. It makes it to where Gamma 2 is literally a single bar of health, to where you have to go back to your tower to heal him again. And especially like what you said, the buff for the HP and shit like that, I think, yeah.
But I did like that they gave like representation. Like I know that.
Yeah,
people
but
have
in a
been,
game like
with
this, where
homage
you're
pomage.
sacrificing one of your entire kit,
Yeah. No, I mean like just like the character itself, because that means like okay, cool. So
yeah.
they are going to be pulling on in the future. Obviously, not anytime soon. Maybe, I don't know, but we'll see. With that being said, now our next three, we have Android 18, Trunks, and Oob. Where are you guys ranking?
I think if I'm going to put 18 anywhere, it would probably be similar to Piccolo. I feel like 18's a pub stomp character, where like if you're the best player in the lobby, similar to like Cooler, like if you're the best player in the lobby and you're playing 18, you'll probably just run the lobby because no one's really going to be able to like outplay you.
And especially because the thing is, what a lot of people will say, oh well, she's terrible and this and that. It's like the thing is, people don't realize that, because I tested this with a friend. She can literally eviscerate almost anyone in the game, especially off the start if you're not careful. Because she plays like Genji from Overwatch, where you literally you throw shuriken melee. She has that same concept with her entire kit, because her entire kit is based off of getting the assault hits and stuff like that, and etc. You can almost every ability she uses, she gets an empowered attack if she hits somebody. So she can literally shred you in under a few seconds, very, very quickly, especially if you're not careful. A lot of people will say, "Oh, well, what about barriers?" That's the reason why she has a Destructo disc in the first place.
The assassin from the future.
What?
Trunks.
I'll hear Jordan's opinion, and then I'll say mine for where to place Trunks.
I would put Trunks above Piccolo. I think this Z Warrior tier for me right now is kind of characters that, generally speaking, aren't the best, but in more skilled or optimized hands are very effective. So when I think of Trunks player, I think of like Guzman.
Yeah.
He's like a very good Trunks. I don't know how often you guys play against Guzman's Trunks. I play against it a fair bit. It scares me. I lose to Guzman's Trunks more than I want to admit. He's very good, and he's very good at other characters too. But his Trunks is very scary.
Yeah, but the thing is, in my opinion, with Trunks, the biggest problem he really has, because it's either you get resets via boss or opponents, but the problem he really has, his cooldowns on his leap and his burst sword are so fucking long that as soon as they're used, that you literally know, oh, that shit's not coming back for a long ass while. Like, you have to be careful to how, like it's like with Trunks, he has low HP at the beginning, but the problem is with him, it's just the fact that his cooldowns are on such a long timer compared to a lot of other characters that it's hard to play him in the first place, especially his burning attack. His burning attack, it just fucking sucks. Like, ugh. Again, I played Trunks and I played literally only Trunks and Bojack, and this is telling, like, literally, like, they're almost 12 to 13 second leap and burst sword. As soon as you use either one of them, literally the opponents can look at you and be like, okay, he doesn't have it for, like, literally, like, 30 seconds. Like, bro, like, this is fucking stupid. Especially that he has a harder time farming than almost any other character in the game, genuinely because of his cooldowns being so damn long and so important to him. Because let's say you're about to go into a team fight, right, and you use your leap on a fucking creep, you literally can't do anything. You can't leap on anybody because you have it. It's going to be like still like a 7 to 6 seconds until you have it. Then, and by then, either something's gone wrong in the fight, or there's about to be someone dead, but you literally cannot jump on them or even potentially maybe even try to burst sword them, because if you used either one of them, I jump in, but then they have a leap or a vanish, and I can't kill them then. His ultimate's really good, in my opinion. His ultimate's really, really good, especially for like the early game area. A lot of people don't expect it to really hit hard, because what Trunks can really do, because Trunks has a mechanic to where if you use his leap, as soon as you use your leap, you can use his ultimate, and his ultimate's activation timer to how fast it can go out is way lower. So you can very easily just burst someone down without them realizing at the beginning. Another thing that Trunks has, if he gets assist on a boss or kills a boss or kills an opponent, what a lot of people might not realize is he can keep his free ability for the entire time. All you need to do is wait for your ability to come back when you see the circle. When you see the circle like lighting up, it means if you use that ability again, you will use your free use. If you let the cooldown fully recharge, you can use that ability without forcing yourself to use the free ability. The only way you can use the free ability is if you use the same ability twice that's on cooldown. So you can potentially, this is what I do a lot of the time, if I get a kill or a kill on a boss, I will literally sit there and make sure that I do not accidentally use my ability twice. Because a lot of the time, what people might not expect is a Trunks literally leaping on you twice in a row. He leaps on you once, he's going to be, okay, there goes his leap. I'm going to use either my dash, my leap, or whatever ability to get away, right? And I step. And then I jump on you again. They're like, what? Because a lot of people might think, because what a lot of people might think is, oh, well, it's on a cooldown, it'll eventually go away. No.
And then the last one from this group, Super Oob, the literal reincarnation of Kid Buu. What are we saying?
I think he's probably also in the Z Warrior tier. I think DPS has like bad characters. It has like okay characters,
and then just flat.
And then it has very good characters.
Range. They have the range.
Yeah. I think maybe looking at this, I would maybe move Krillin up to Z Warrior. I feel like he's probably in a similar spot.
I like it.
Yeah.
Just as this is fleshing out more, I'm kind of like more okay. There's definitely a general gap between like Boo and Krillin, but I feel like I feel like that looks a little bit better to me. But Oob is like the same thing, like similar to like Trunks or Piccolo, where like the laning phase can be kind of difficult at times. But once you get Oob online, especially if you get Nappa, because it increases your rush attack damage, you just start shredding people.
That with like Warrior,
it's the exact same. Yeah, it's the exact same for Trunks. It's like if he gets Belt Up, he just starts running the entire lobby. It becomes so hard to either kill him, just because of the amount of damage he can just dish out and just fucking just eviscerate you out of existence in sec. I've had matches to where I will literally just absolutely pub stop the entire match because it's either so hard to kill me or it's hard for you to do anything against me.
And I think the cool thing about Oob... Oh, sorry. Go for it.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was saying the thing that I like about Oob is that I had fun playing Oob, and I was terrified of playing him. But when I sat down and actually
there's a bug with him.
Yeah. And then so when I learned his kit, it was so unique that like he has so much move in his kit, let alone like you add on like a divine card like breaking jump, where you get an additional 2, and it's like, dude, the man already has 3 dash teleport, whatever you want to call it, with his 2 vanishing steps. It's like, bro, he it's like I'm playing as a not rap. Oh my god, my hero again.
No, I understand where you're coming from. As well. Don't worry, I know exactly. He in all the characters in the game, Oob definitely has probably the most like fun, but also like it just feels like you're just a character that moves around so much. But also you have to be careful to move around so much because you may accidentally go into the enemy team and they might explode your ass out of existence.
Might get caught. Yep, 100%. I agree. But yeah, no, I feel like what I like about this group right here with these 4. These 4. It's fun. Like Jordan, I think, said it best. Like when you pick these, like this is a good threshold. These feel like you get what I mean. Then we got these guys are gonna feel like. But like right here, realistically, like if you see these, like you're like, I'm not as intimidated when I see these characters, but I'm also not underestimating them either. I'm like, if I see these, I'm wondering, okay, depending on the player, this is either going to go really good or really bad. Whereas if you see these, it don't matter if you're the most worst player in the game. Like, I'm going to talk about him in a second. Like this is just like, oh gosh, man, I just hope they don't go snowball, right? That's really what you're hoping for. But these guys,
but they're going to go snowball. It don't matter. 100%.
But these guys, I feel, is fun. But I just wanted to group these guys in.
Especially, I think like the most funnest things in like all these characters' kits. You have Piccolo's special beam cannon, sniping with grenade. You have like just back to back being able to literally just keep going in the fight. If one person dies, he goes on another.
For sure.
Android 18, literally, it'll feel like you're playing Genji if you play her correctly. Oob, you feel like you're literally just not teleporting around, but like you have so much burst movement that if you know how to use it correctly, it's fun. Plus, you have snipe potential with his ultimate as well if you use it correctly.
And Jordan, you were saying something about Super Oob?
one of the main strengths of Oob is the fact that he has 3 dashes.
Yes.
So he's very safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're playing Oob, you're playing for late game, you're playing to not feed snowball stacks, you're playing to farm. His issues are just the fact that his skill 1 doesn't really do any burst damage, so most other characters can out-secure him on Kai's, just general farm. His boss secure is okay because of his ult, but his ult doesn't do that much damage until you get to higher ranks, unless you have like basically max Cyclone. Which, if you're trying to shred the boss, you're probably using Cyclone to shred the boss. You probably don't have a lot of Cyclones, so like your burst isn't the best there. So it's a little tug of war in that regard. But I think he's a good character. I think he's just edged out, along with the other characters that are kind of in that tier with him, by the characters that are above him.
Like for reference, like you have Piccolo who can he's one of the characters that just steals boss. Like he's just one of the characters if you don't steal the boss, it does not matter. He will steal that shit. He will snipe it. He will take it. He will eat it all up. But like it's like a similar thing to where like for reference for Trunks. Trunks, this is almost everything in the game for his burst sword. If anything's at a certain health threshold, he can just use his one and execute it and get it guaranteed. Like he can almost out-secure even of certain characters in the game, just because if you know the thresholds to where Trunks just literally bursts it down, because Trunks is like literally his one, especially at certain part of the game. Because again, if you're at a certain health threshold, it can almost do 9,000 damage to you and just straight up kill you. And that's the same to bosses. It can almost do even more than like a fucking spirit bomb half the time. It can almost either does equal or just like 1,000 less than a spirit bomb. And it's ridiculous to how much his like execution range is, what he can do. But it's like you have to know the execution ranges, or you just don't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, we're going on to our the big 4 of this game. What it feels like for DPS. Let's talk about Daimaku. I just want to start off by again saying to all Diamond players, I am sorry for having thought that was the worst character in the game. For the DPS role. I humbly retract that statement. I am now terrified.
This guy's bad takes. Oh my gosh.
I am now terrified. Well, because here's the thing. People didn't know how to play Daimaku. Like I'm talking about, like those were my things at the beginning, like the very beginning of the game. But then after experiencing firsthand the terror that this little menace of society instills in people with his drive-by mechanics, which we'll talk about in a second, this dude scares me. When I see him, especially if there are the top Gs that main him, if I know I'm going up against like a Mello, a Charlie Mack, etc., that play this guy like to the nines, I'm like, dude, this is going to be so annoying because your farm gets taken, your health goes just from 100 to 0 almost instantaneously, especially if it is a snowball stack or a Cell Junior game. With that being said, where are we putting this menace to society? Where are we putting Daimaku?
I want Jordan's opinion, and I'll say my opinion where to rank him.
Well, I think Pole Dance needs nerfs, so that like immediately puts him in Zono tier for me. I think his drive-by is fine overall. I think maybe the damage could be brought down a little bit. It definitely feels a little too much burst damage.
I would say I agree, especially for how low the cooldown is. Especially if you get super attack boost skill 1, it hurts so much that a lot of the time you can't even fight off the rip. You literally cannot. You lose half your HP off of one Pazari bomb. And I think definitely the damage of it, the tone of damage of his one does need to be lowered with how the cooldown is. Like if you give a character a 5-second little like poison bomb, like with all these characters, you need to lower the base damage of it so then it doesn't just eviscerate other characters who have longer cooldown damage abilities.
I don't even think the bomb is like his strongest ability. Like Pole Dance is insane, dude. It gives you so much defense. It gives you so much movement speed. Like that's more. It's okay if they want to make. Yeah, it's okay if they want to make him a nuclear bomb. That's fine. Yeah. But you should be able to just kill him for like running into your backline and just dropping his whole kit. But instead, he runs into your backline, drops his whole kit, and then runs out. which is so stupid.
It's what he does.
I agree.
You see him
Yeah,
flying, bro.
There have been a
sheer
lot
amount
of situations where I agree, because I've had so many situations where I'm playing a Super Saiyan 3, I'm hitting this little with a Kamehameha, I'm like, this motherfucker barely took like 3 bars of health without fucking barrier in it, because all he used was that fucking third ability where he spins around a fucking circle while twiddling his fucking fingers. I'm like, dude, this is fucking stupid. Like, this motherfucker should have been dead. Like, what the fuck?
It's also very good. Like, it is a very strong ultimate. So and people are getting really good at using Dime Ult now too.
Yes,
which I think like before people were not. They might also need to tone down the damage on that, because I've been just straight up one shot sometimes, but it's also been like he's ahead, he has full stacks, like he's gonna do a lot of damage anyway. So I can't tell if it's just.
But that's the thing, right? So like a lot of his kit was just people just didn't understand it or know how to play it, which is why he felt like it was here. But in actuality, he's been here the whole time. Just it was the same like misconception with Hit. Once people were like, "Oh, whoa, Hit's actually really good." This is why they're here, for that very reason.
Yep.
Their kit is so good to the point it's like, no, it needs to be tweaked, bro. They can't keep getting away with this, bro.
Yeah, because I agree 100%. I just think his like the defense of his kit, like you said, the defense of his kit. I personally think the Punzari Bomb's damage needs to be toned down a little tiny bit for its cooldown, and like exactly what you said, the ultimate's damage does need to be toned down. I think those are like the 3 things they could do. Is nerf the power pole? I think nerf a little bit of the damage of the Punzari Bomb, and then nerf the ultimate.
And then now,
that's my opinion.
The second character that was on the, you could call it emergency or mid-season buff nerf list, the one that actually got the nerf.
We can all. This motherfucker's still in Xeno tier. Like this shit ain't a debate.
Yeah, so let's talk about the.
You could. I agree. I agree. You could, but it's just like this character. Like again, the only things that really changed was his meat 2 seconds longer, and his Kaioken's damage was just lowered. But this character is still a menace to society with the shit he's able to do still.
So, Jordan, do you think he's in Xenos here, or do you think he's at the top of God of
Destruction? I think he's probably at the top of God of Destruction. I mean, like, he's still a very good character. I'm not saying he's bad.
Not this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you were compared to, like, these two.
The issue that I had before with him is that he was very safe. Because Meteor Hammer was on such a short cooldown, you could Meteor Hammer in, Kaioken, Meteor Hammer, Kaioken, Kamehameha, Kaioken, do that whole shenanigans, and then by the time you do all that, you could pretty much just Meteor Hammer out again, or just 100%. Chase them with another one. 100%. Now you can't do that.
Yeah, I agree. Then that means, I agree with it being here, but still, like 6 seconds is still low ass cooldown for him to be able to get in and out still. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. All I was going to say was, and then I want you to speak. All I was going to say was, I just find it so funny, because if you're on any sort of social media, when he was announced that he was getting a nerf, the amount of people that were just screaming, "Finally, he's going to be unplayable!" Blah blah blah. No, you thought wrong. You clearly have not.
Literally, all they did was they took the Meteor Hammer. They took the Meteor Hammer or Mash, whatever it's called. Yep. Turned it up to 2 seconds longer, and then they just nerfed Kaioken's damage and just increased the duration, and that was it. That was literally all they did. The Spirit Bomb's still the same. The Spirit Bomb can still clock you for almost 20,000 damage in a team fight. Congratulations, you're dead.
Go ahead, Jordan.
So I think, like I said, the big thing was how safe he was. Between the speed boost from Kaioken and the Meteor Hammer cooldown being so short, it was really hard to lock him down. So they nerfed the Kaioken movement speed by a fair bit. And then they nerfed the cooldown on Meteor Hammer. So now you can catch him out. You can punish him for being too aggressive or for making mistakes. Which makes him feel a lot more fair. He still does a lot of damage. He's still very scary when he's ahead, when he has snowball stacks. Spirit Bomb's the best secure in the game, probably. And then just once you get to rank 3, you can kind of just win a team fight over it if you combo it with Cooler Roll, Gotenks, Donuts, anything like that. So it's still really strong, but I feel like that's fine. I feel like he's he's the face of the series. He should probably be a strong character because he is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree where he is now. Yeah, it's just like example what you said. Like he was super safe. Yeah, I agree. Because like if you had backstab, literally you could never catch this fucking character. You literally couldn't. He was impossible to catch.
100%.
And like you still run backstab on him, and it still helps mitigate the cooldown nerf on it because now you're just using it for meteor smash instead of getting half Kamehamehas, which, I mean, you didn't really do that much anyways, but sometimes you could. But now you just use it for Meteor Hammer, and it lets you do the thing. But now it's like you're also being forced to go into Backstab, which was probably his best third card anyways. But if they do change the card, and it becomes not as good of a card, or there's another card that's better, then that'll affect him, and that I feel like that's fine. You know?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
So now, the female version of Broly. What are we saying?
The more I play, the more I feel like Kale is dumb, stupid, broken.
Yep.
I really feel like there's
literally
no game. Like, if this was like
this character,
if you know, you know.
Literally, this character not only bombs your ass, can snipe your ass. As soon as she hits 5, you cannot fight her. You literally cannot fight her in a 2-on-2. She will fucking ult and eviscerate your ass out of fucking existence. She will kill you in under a second.
The Shakuran boss is insane.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like again, like you can have a Super Saiyan 3 to where I burst down the boss with Super Saiyan 3 Krail. I send out ball and throw my 1 and I get boss now. Thank you.
I feel like Kale, we don't even have to talk about this. This is if you know, you know. Kale, I guarantee you, she's one of the people that is getting a nerf at the start of season 2 or end of season 1, 100%.
Because her ultimate as well. It's so oppressive because it's just you can't. Oh well, I'm about to kill her at the beginning, level 5. Oh, we're fighting around Kai. She ults. You run. You literally cannot 100%. Stay to fight her. You will die.
So I mean that's
unless you magically have a lead on her. 5 ultimate is the most oppressive ultimate in the game.
Yeah.
Because you literally just cannot beat that. No one really can.
And then the last character of our tier list is the first character of Season 1, J3. Where are we?
I've played him a lot. I'm on...
Where?
I think... Okay, so there's a couple things with SS3, 100%. Right? IT is an inherently broken ability in the context of any sort of MOBA or MOBA-like game.
Yeah.
Because immediately repositioning yourself on any point of the map is just...
Yep.
Insanely broken,
It kind of just breaks the game.
It just instant rotates. It just instant rotates. Like, you can't... Oh, well, I have to travel up for, like, 5 seconds. Me, I IT in 0.1 seconds, and I'm here now.
I think, obviously, there are ways to make that ability balanced. There's been similar abilities in other MOBAs. I think the primary issue with IT is that it is a very short cooldown, and I think the fact that you can use it to enemies as well as allies, and how Vision works with Zeno, kind of leads to this very oppressive playstyle, especially from ahead, that feels very overwhelming. I will say I'm not as high on SS3 as other people. I think he's not super difficult to deal with.
Yeah, that's
he's annoying.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
He's annoying and he's very strong. And I think another thing is there's not a lot of good SS3 players. Like I
personally think that he would probably be above the normal Goku, but I don't think he would be in the Zeno tier, just for the fact of how much I've played him and how often I've played him. He has problems, especially to where people don't realize a lot of the time. So how I normally play him, and this is something what a lot of people don't do, I don't IT on a lot of fights. I will normally kind of sit back in the shadows a lot of the time using my Kamehamehas, like, because on controller you press L1 on a PS4 controller and you go to the end of your Kamehameha. I'm normally kind of just using anything for information to kind of like see what's going on. Especially I almost always get my backstab off, so I'll always have my Kamehameha back again. I kind of keep repeating this process to where I'm popping barriers, I'm popping whatever needs to be done, I am aggroing people away, and all this other stuff. It's just, the thing is, it's like, the problem he really has is if people know how to play against him, even if you are a good Super Saiyan 3 Goku, there are characters very easily just clock you away, for reference Caulifla. It's very hard for a Super Saiyan 3 Goku to play around in a team fight, especially that he has to charge it up. And if a Caulifla starts walking at you, you just have to cancel immediately. You literally have to walk away from her, because even if you release it at her, she uses her 3 and she just walks at you again, because 90% of your Kamehameha is already ended. She provokes you, and now you cannot use IT. You can't use your soaring leap. The only thing you can use is your ultimate, and if you use ultimate, it does no damage to her. But it's like these certain things to where like, oh well, this character counters this character. It's like, again, it's just the problem is the fact that he's one of the characters that is probably, I would say, in my opinion, the most safest in the game, no matter what you do. But it's the fact to where if you also, because this is something I think a lot of people should think of, when IT Goku, when he ITs onto an enemy, it goes around a 14-second cooldown. If you think about it, every single time he does that, and you count it in your head, and you look at the timer, you can get to the exact timer to when he has it back. If he teleports to a teammate, that shit is down for like almost 30 to 35 seconds. If you count that to the exact point when he doesn't have IT, you can catch him out and kill him. But if it's a good IT, they will obviously play a lot more safer. Again, I do this all the time. I will have snowball stacks. If I have 4 snowball stacks, I'm playing the most safest I can be, and it's the reason why I play a lot differently than what a lot of people who play Super Saiyan 3 will do. They play way more further up. I'm playing way more further back, like how Piccolo would do.
Right.
Just because of the reason to why it makes it harder to get to me in the first place. You have to come to me, not me coming to you, especially if we're in a team fight. So, because, like, for reference, a lot of the time I'll see a lot of people who are using Super Saiyan 3, and I'll see them kind of just standing there, and since I'm outranging them and they don't see me, I can just start eviscerating them when they're stuck in place, and I just start beaming them down and start killing them outright. Of course, you want to try to use IT, obviously, to, get a kill when someone's low, when your team is fighting, like, in a certain area, but I would also say this as well, what you could possibly do with him. This is what I think, like, a smart little thing you can do, because this is where people would get scared. If your teammates are in an area where, like, the line of sight is cut off, let's say top boss is about to spawn, or bottom boss is about to spawn, right? And you're in one of those lanes, go into one of the areas to where you are not revealed, get one of your teammates to, like, go into one of the areas down below or up top to where you cannot be seen, and just simply IT to them. Just IT them on purpose, and it makes it to where the enemy doesn't know where you are as a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They don't know, has he already rotated up? Is he going to use IT on me? Where is he? Has he already, like, again, because a lot of people could get cut off to where, like, let's say there's still, let's say Android 16 is about to spawn, or we're spawning soon, right? And that tank and DPS are on bottom lane. And I've already IT'd up, but I was out of sight, so they don't know if I'm still there or not. They may think, oh, well, he's trying to clear the Cell Juniors maybe in the middle, or he's trying to clear them on him by his tower, right? But he would be revealed there. It's the fact that where people might guess to where you are, and just having that information to where, hey, they don't even know if I've used my IT yet or not. They have no idea until the fight starts happening.
Right.
Because they may think, oh, well, the tank's only by himself. Maybe the DPS already, went behind and started grabbing farm in their back farm. But it's like, no. I'm up here sitting in a bush behind your enemy team since I've already rotated up here. And then once a little fight starts, I'm right here, and I either Dragon Fist you in the ass, or I just eviscerate you with a Kamehameha right then and there because I cut off your escape route. It's stuff like this to where some people might not realize it, but I don't really try to use his IT a lot to get kills. I honestly don't even use it that often. Some people may think, oh, well, you should be spamming it. That's how you get yourself killed a lot of the time. Is you just spamming it randomly and hoping everything works out. Like, if you use it more strategically, it becomes such a broken ass ability. It's just stupid. It's just ridiculous. It's insane.
Jordan, do you have anything to add on J3?
I think J3's in a weird spot. Mostly because I feel like a lot of Super Saiyan 3 players aren't leveraging IT for early game rotates once they get level 2 IT.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of times where you can force a Kai fight on the opposite lane, and he can IT to it, and then he'll help secure the Kai and maybe get a pick, And then if the boss is also spawning down there, he's already down there for the rotation, and it really leads to this heavy snowball for the team that has the proper IT rotation. I don't see a lot of IT players doing that, and I feel like that is his greatest strength, that he just helps apply such intense and immediate pressure in a very specific location that in a team play environment is very effective. But I feel like he has some weaknesses. I feel like people just walk in a straight line when he's beaming, and they don't try to shut him out of it or pressure him when he's beaming. So he gets a lot of free value on things he shouldn't. He doesn't get ult until level 7. So like, as long as he's not giga farming, he's not going to have his ult for, say, like the first objective. So you can kind of out pressure them because you'll have 4 ultimates. They'll have 3. There's some aspects to him that you can take advantage of. But he has a lot of very, very strong upsides that I feel like make him a very good character.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the thing is, I like something you said, like what I was saying about like just not using IT recklessly and everything like that. A lot of the time, I just keep it all out of the game. Like what you said, that is something I don't do as often because I'm not really noticing it because of how the second Kai is coming up, and shit like that, where it's like it's understandable. You know what I mean? But it's like I do agree. It's just like. It's just people getting used to it. Like I should be doing that a lot more. I agree. I don't do it as much, but it's just the play. Everyone has their own play styles and how they like playing the character. I like playing a lot more back in the team to where I'm not forced to use IT every single time to do anything. And a lot of the time, what I will use IT to do is I'll actually use it to cover my teammates to put aggression off of them. So where, let's say we're going towards a tower, right? I'll already have that bitch ready to go, and I'll be out of sight to where I'm literally on the edge of like the tower to where I can actually hit it, just maybe a little bit over. And if the enemy walks up a little, I just release it, and then my teammates can try to get some early hits off of it in the first place.
I think I like where everything is. Honestly, I think J3
and and then there's Superstar.
Yes, and then so J3.
There is no argument. Super Saiyan 3 Goku's Superstar is fucking ridiculous.
Right, and then so for me, my opinions on J3, I think that it's different, right? Because again, it's not traditionally a common thing that you get a character that could teleport and in lane immediate rotations like Ari, or then again, going towards like to a boss, helping secure a team fight, getting a pick, like Jordan was saying. So I think like while I know a lot of people are upset about like the fact that he was released and they had that stupid ability and it was the first season and not like a season 10 kind of thing.
A quick thing to say. Another thing to say. What people might not even know, might not even use IT for information.
Right.
You can view anybody on the map that you can actively see. You can literally see what certain people are doing. Like, oh, what's the enemy doing? Like let's see. Like, for reference, let's see. Is the top lane farming? Are they maybe below half health that I can see? Maybe I can try to rotate early to my teammates. See what's going on. See how much health like some people are at. See what they're doing. Like, don't just IT onto them. Just see what they're doing, and be like, okay, that's my information. That's what's going on.
Definitely, I agree with that 100%. So
the other downside, sorry. The other thing that I would say as well to what people say, example what Jordan said about him getting his ultimate at level 7, it's only when he transforms is when he can actually get his ultimate. That I will say to a lot of people. Number one, I did not know. This is something because this is before getting him. Since I only played Trunks and Bojack, I thought he got his ultimate at level 5. I did not know that he had to transform his ultimate. So I will say to a lot of people, if you do not know this yet, Super Saiyan 3 Goku does not get his ultimate level 5. It is only after he transforms at level 7 is when he is available to get his ultimate. So I think what a lot of people would tend to forget to do is to try to, or like what they could do, is since you have an ultimate, and this is the main reason why if I'm fighting a Kale bottom lane, a lot of the time, as soon as she's 5, I'm playing very safe because I don't have an ultimate. She does.
Right.
She can burst me down under a moment's notice. So I will say to a lot of people that what you can do is you can pressure a Goku and try to take as much farm, try to deny as much farm as you physically can from him to make it to where it's longer for him to get level 7 and especially longer to try to get him to level 8. Because that's when he starts becoming a problem.
And then so with that being the case, this is the tier list, but now I want to go line by line and we're going to rate in terms of power level. Like, okay, so out of these three, who's the strongest, who's the middle, and then they're bad, but just out of these three in Zeno tier, rank in order 1, 2, 3.
That's hard to say because I know Jordan can agree on these. It does so much for a team fight, it's ridiculous. He has so much value.
And if he's fine at being number 1, we can talk about it. Jordan, what's your take?
I think Hit is the outlier character amongst the whole cast. He just feels so head and above the other characters in his class. Which is crazy, because like I said, all the technical characters are at baseline good, but he's just so much better than them.
Built different.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would probably put Kale at 2. I think Kale's Secure is just way too strong.
I agree. I agree.
Because her Secure is so strong, she's basically guaranteed to hit level 5 first. If you have Xeno Pressure and she's 5 first, if you have Xeno Pressure and she hits 5 first, you're basically guaranteed a free tower in lane because you just use her ult to zone them. They have to back up because they either die, which they don't want to do, or they do die, which is beneficial for you because you probably already have your snowball, so then you get snowball stacks.
Yep.
And then you also get a tower, which gives you a ton of map pressure, makes it hard for them to farm, helps extend your lead. It's a very simple game plan for a kill player to just go, alright, let's just farm as much as we can, make sure we get the Kais, I'll use my combo on it, we'll secure it, and then at level 5, whenever we get Xeno Pressure, we just take the tower. And you will 9 times out of 10 win that game straight off of that interaction.
I love it. God of Destruction order.
If we're taking this at a perspective of like a more like generalized overview kind of median, I would probably put Khalifa over Cooler just because you kind of get rewarded for just like playing the game with Khalifa because Provoke is so strong. I would do the same thing with like Super Saiyan Goku. Like I'd put him above SS3 because SS3 requires a bit more game sense and knowledge. Super Saiyan Goku can just kind of like press buttons, do things, get value.
I agree. Yeah.
The supports I would probably just leave the way they are. I think that's generally good.
I agree. Yeah.
I think Z Warrior we ordered it as was, right? Or am I mistaken on that?
I would probably move 18 down below Oob, I think.
That's what we did with our last tiers too.
That's probably generally okay, I think.
Have to have the husband and wife together.
I think the Z Warrior, like at least in regards to those DPS, I feel like they're all pretty close to each other. Where like they have their niches and like the game types where you want to play them, and then others that you don't. I think 17's better than Frieza. Zamos is the only tank there, so I think that's fine.
Yep.
Now this one.
Bojack's the bottom of the barrel, throw him all the way to the right.
I wish I could go like further beyond that.
I think Baby's definitely better than Cell. I think Dobra is probably closer to being a character than Gamma is. I definitely would put Cell. I think I would put Cell below Gamma's too if we're like organizing that whole tier.
All right.
I think Cell's kit is inherently just does not make any sense.
Yeah.
They're like so close to like looking like a perfect kit for him.
It's swing and a miss.
But like the issue with Cell is that all of his power is in his backshots ability. Like that ability is so like insane that his regen ability kind of feels meh. His AoE was a Big Bang Crash or whatever it's called. Like it doesn't feel like good. Cell's ult is okay once he's transformed.
Cell game, like, baby.
Like making
Cell games as you get absolutely bombed by an enemy fucking Goku's fucking spirit bomb. Good night,
like it's less even the fact for like the Cell games arena. It's more so just the immune to energy that the barrier actually provides. That's really good because you can use it like around boss fights and stuff and help deny a lot of damage or poke. And there's some like cool things that you could do with that. But at the same time, if a Cell is ulting, you could usually just kill him because he's just stationary. And the channel's pretty long. So I feel like if they take some of the strength out of his second ability, right, and they shift it around in his kit, or they just adjust how his transformation works, he would be a lot better of a character. But right now, he's just kind of not very good.
Yep.
Oh, I agree. I think this tier list this actually looks really solid. So, guys, that is it for our tier list. Just again, a huge shout out to Jordan and Ari for joining me again. These guys are just amazing. One of the amazing people that I have been able to meet as a result of this game. So I hope that you guys learned a lot from them. And like again, my opinions too. Again, guys, please know that this is just a tier list. Okay, these are our opinions based on our time playing the game. If you have a difference of opinion, then that is okay to have. This is not a one-size-fits-all tier list, right? So please take it with a grain of salt. And I highly encourage you, go on Tier List Maker and make your own list. Like, again, this is just a fun little way of me getting to hear and vocalize with a lot of players that I normally just see, on the other side of a screen, right? So now I have the privilege with this platform to be able to kind of like converse and talk with them and get their thoughts on the game and the characters that are involved. So huge shout out to you guys for coming, guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
My name
It's like another. Sorry, it's like another big thing to where what a lot of people I would say this is one of the games that has made me less angry at. Because the thing is, the only thing you can really get angry at, you can't get angry at certain players for playing the character really well. The only thing you can really kind of get upset about is at a little bit at the developers. But developers made this game so well rounded for everything. It makes you enjoy the game compared to other games. It's just every other game it makes me so My Hero. Here's a concept: My Hero Ultra Rumble. The gotcha's terrible, and it's a very bad experience for early new players. The skill-based matchmaking is absolutely screwed with. It's this game personally has been the best game I've played all around in any other MOBA type of game in the world. This game just makes it where yes, you will get mad, you will get angry. There are divine cards that will piss people off. Everyone hates Cell Juniors. Everyone can agree on that. There's not much you can do about it when it gets put into your match. But it's such things to where I personally want this community just to be a community that's chill, to where everyone can just play the game, and eventually, hey, for me, I've played with some of the more top players. Again, I'm at 115 on DPS. I'm almost in the top 100 right now. Have I only played Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku right now? Yeah, because he's one of the characters that's played a lot more often in teams. Do I want to play Trunks and Bojack a lot more often? Yes, I love playing Trunks. I like how Bojack's kit is. Bojack just needs a little bit of revamps for him to be a bit more better. Trunks, he's perfectly fine how he is. If I get outplayed, oh well. If I get unlucky, oh well, that's on me. It's just how the game goes. This game should be a game you should be enjoying and having fun and improving, not getting mad at. Because again, mistakes happen. It's called improving.
I could not have said that better myself. All right, guys, that is it. My name is Citizen. I will see you guys in the next video. Again, this has been
bye to everyone on YouTube.
I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Keep on being awesome. Peace.